After that, we are in preliminary, or prelims. Again, this lasts 30 days. If you make it that far, you get to be inducted and get a temporary warrior brand and can start going on smaller missions. Wyatt says, around a mouthful of taco. What is this brand that everyone keeps talking about? Why is it so special? This is like the 4th time I have heard about that today. The brand is what links you to the warriors. Think about it like a pack link, but just with us. We all come from different packs, and we don't want to renounce our pack connection just to do training. So we are given this brand that is applied to the inside of our right wrist. Nathaniel indicates the spot. It doesn't sever your pack link, it just brings you into the warrior link. You can communicate with the warriors on your team while out on missions, and you have access to the lead warriors, no matter how far away you are, which comes in handy from what I have heard from some of the veteran warriors. I wonder how that will work for me then. Warrior Osiston said that I won't be able to join missions until I am 16. That's just under a year from now. I hope my probationary period doesn't last a year. That would suck. I let out a little whine. Who knows? The Alpha King and Warrior Brogan already seem to have plans for you, or you wouldn't be here. Nathaniel deadpans. Yep, he's a keeper. I think right before he starts talking again. The other thing the brand does is shut down your mating hormones. I choke on my water and almost spit it across the table. It what? It shuts down all the hormones that make you want to mate, at all. You won't be able to find your mate while you are branded. I think that is the most obvious thing. But you also won't have any asexual desires or any kind of attractions either. At any given time, there are about 100 warriors in this building, both male and female. We are all very active and fit, even for werewolves, which usually correlates with our SX drive. By shutting this down, there is no relationship drama or other distractions that come from sleeping around. It allows us to focus on the task at hand, keeping those emotions in check. Who gives us this brand, and what happens if someone wants the chance to find their mate? I ask, a little horrified. I can't find my mate for another 3 years, but I don't know how I feel about the option to find them taken away from me. The brand is applied by the warrior elders and a coven of witches. It is temporary and wears off after a while. I don't have many more details about it than that. I do know that every 5 years the Alpha King requires warriors to remove the brand for a full year and travel to try and find their mate. So, mates have been considered. Nathaniel, how do you know so much about this? It seems like a lot of detail that isn't common knowledge. I ask, truly curious. He must be a sponge. The quiet, observant guy that no one thinks twice about talking in front of. But he gathers every piece of info he comes across. Clearly, this isn't something either of the other two thought to ask, as their heads whip towards him, looking expectant. He stares at me for a moment, clearly deciding something. I don't feel any animosity coming from him, and I hope he doesn't find any from me. He really is just a fascinating person, and I have only known him a couple hours. My dad was a warrior. He found my mom on one of his sabbaticals. She died when rogues attacked our pack. It almost killed my dad to lose her. He brought me here and joined the warriors again to remove the pain of the broken bond. He looked back into my eyes, a kindred spirit in a way. Somehow he knows what I went through. I just nod, confirming his unasked question. Before things get too heavy, another chime rings and everyone starts getting up and clearing the space. Warrior Osiston wasn't kidding when he said it's our job to take care of this place. There was not a single crumb left on any of the tables. It was incredible. What do we do now? I ask after we all disposed of our garbage and organized our dirty dishes into bins for the Omegas. We actually have free time until lights out. Most shower and head to their rooms for some quiet time, especially when they have been out on the territory all day. Some hang out in the common room. It's really the only downtime we get here. Lillian links her arm into mine. Come on, let's see what's going on. We spent the rest of the hour mingling around with the other warriors. We didn't spend too long with anyone, though, and I couldn't tell you any of their names yet. It was interesting to see the dynamic of the older warriors and the younger generation. There was a distinct difference in the interactions. The warning chime for bedtime went off sooner than I wanted. I was enjoying listening and talking to the warriors here. It already feels like home, but not the same way the blue crescent pack house feels like home. It's strange, and I don't know what to make of it. Is it the chimes that wake us up each day too? I ask Lillian as we walk up the stairs together. No, that's the floor leader's job. Oh, great, I say sarcastically. Will you do me a favor and check on me in the morning? My routine is off from the last month, and I don't trust myself to get up when I usually do. And I don't think my floor leader likes me enough to show me that courtesy. I can, but she really should. It makes her look bad if anyone on her floor is late, unprepared, or out of uniform. That's good to know, I guess. I think I have classes tomorrow, so I don't know when I will see you. Thank you for helping me today. I appreciate a friendly face. I smile at her as I step onto the landing of my floor, and she ascends to hers. You are a team player, and so am I. We got this. She winks at me and heads up. With the exception of Audrina, my first day here wasn't so bad. I head to my room and find more books and a folder on my desk. I open the folder first. It has my schedule for this week on the top of the small stack of papers. It looks like tomorrow we'll be at the school. At least I get to see Sierra and check in with her. But it would be nice to see the warriors in action now that I have gotten to know them. I toss and turn all night, but not because I was uncomfortable or scared. I am excited to get started and only wish my first day could be on the training grounds, and not at the school. I have so much energy to burn after being cooped up in the hospital. I have to stay positive, though. I will be able to graduate earlier than I thought, and I will get to train. This is like a dream come true. There is a wall clock next to the door, but no alarm clock or any outlets, actually. They take this separation from the outside world seriously. I'm sure there is a place downstairs to charge and use phones in a designated space and at designated times. Once the sun starts to rise and the dim yellow light peeks through my curtains, I get up and get dressed. Assuming I have to wear the uniform no matter where I am on the territory, including school. I flip to the second page of the folder that was left for me, which has my class schedule. All core classes, nothing unnecessary, and no battle classes. This might actually be boring. On the other hand, all of the classes say advanced, so they might all be really hard and suck. I'm flipping through my pack history book when Lillian comes rushing in. I am so sorry. I totally forgot to come get you. She looks horrified, and I look up at the clock. It's 5:45. Probably no time for breakfast. I grab all my things and shove them quickly into my bag, following her down the hall to the main stairs. I only realized you weren't there when Wyatt asked if I had seen you so he could get you to school. It's okay. I was up. I should have paid more attention. I was just trying to get ahead on the reading so I could understand what was going on. This is not your fault. I didn't hear a wake-up call at all. I hug her, and she apologizes again before jumping down the last few stairs and running off to join training. You probably didn't get one, Wyatt says as I join him in the foyer. Audrina's group is usually first in and first out, and she was saying something about certain people not being able to handle being here. She is making a point of separating you from the rest of the floor mates. Perfect. Well, let's get this show on the road, tour guide. Am I late to school? My schedule didn't have times on it. Really? It should have. Well, that doesn't shock me. Your floor leader was responsible for getting you everything you needed for today. He rolls his eyes and leads me out the door to some kind of two-person four-wheeler I have never seen before, but really want to learn how to drive. And if she screwed with my daily schedule, I'm screwed. Who can I go to confirm that it's right? I'll double-check with the office at school. That will be easy enough to do. But if she sets my training schedule, she's going to mess with me until I get kicked out, isn't she? Maybe. I've never had a problem with her, so this is all new to me. I can't understand acting this childish over a new recruit, though. He shrugs and steps on the gas, and I almost fly off the four-wheeler. I laugh all the way to the school building, Audrina forgotten for now. We pulled up to a building about 10 minutes later. I use the word building loosely. Like every other structure I have seen in the royal pack, this building is old and weathered, but impeccably well kept. It might have been inspired by cathedrals with its ornate design, dark wood and stained glass. This is the high school? I can't help the squeak in my voice. Yes, correction. This is the high school for the ranked members of the king and the elders and their families. Seriously? I know Sierra is amazing, but are the rest of them stuck-up elitists? I had enough of that in my own pack and all ranks went to school together, so it really sucked. Aren't you a beta? I'm sure everything was just fine for you being the seconds kid. He snaps back at me a little. Yeah, I am the beta's second child and his daughter. But no, it wasn't all that great. Being the spare beta and a female made me no better than an omega to some people in my pack. I turned around and walked to the door. I need to walk away from this conversation, now, before I say something I will regret to a person who has actually been kind to me. Wait up, Midge. I didn't mean to piss you off. I just meant that as beta kids, we don't really have it all that rough, you know? You may not have, as the firstborn male like my brother, but it was not that same experience for me. Maybe someday I will tell you about it. But right now, I need to figure out what I am doing here and how badly Audrina messed with me. So I need my head on straight, okay? He just nods at me and we walk into the building. Wyatt walks me to the office. At least we aren't late here. We approach a big, ornate desk with a little woman sitting behind it. When I say little, I mean little, compared to me, which is saying something. She has graying hair cut short and styled like a punk rock pixie. She has a form-fitting navy blue top and chunky gold jewelry hanging from her ears, neck, and wrists. Excuse me, I say sweetly. I figure I will start with soft and sweet and go from there. She looks up at us, giving me a full body appraisal, then lifts an eyebrow in question. My name is Skylar, and I'm new. I was going over my schedule this morning at breakfast, and in my rush to get here on time, I left it behind. Could I get another copy, please? I want to make sure I don't inconvenience the teachers by having to guess my next lesson. I smile, hoping this is a simple transaction. Of course, it wasn't going to be that easy. Skylar, is it? The way the Alpha King spoke of you, I figured you would be intelligent enough to remember your schedule. What makes you think I would give you a duplicate schedule? I am so tired of the attitudes from everyone. No one here knows me, and yet I keep getting treated like I am the scum of the earth not worthy to be here. I let my temper get the better of me and respond. Honestly? She raises an eyebrow again. I don't fully trust the person who gave it to me and I want to check. I don't like getting my information secondhand. If you really don't want to print another schedule for me, can I at least look to confirm what I was given? I look her in the eye, not wavering. That's better. Start with the truth next time. You aren't great at getting out the cute and innocent story. I huffed and smiled at her. Wyatt let out a quiet laugh behind me. My name is Teresa, and if you need anything else while you're here, just let me know. I got a look at your transcripts and set your schedule myself. You are a rare one. She winks at me and jumps up to pull a paper off the printer behind her. This is your correct schedule. You must be someone to look out for if Drina is trying to hold you back after being on site for less than a day. She reminds me of Martha, and I have a feeling we are going to be great friends. I thanked her, and Wyatt and I set out for my first class. The day was like any other high school day. Wyatt kept me entertained by trying to see if he could distract me during every single lesson. Everything from flicking my ponytail like he's the one who's 15, not me, to knocking my pencils and notebooks on the floor while I'm taking notes. I was ready to punch him. He only stopped when the science teacher called him out about not paying attention the first time around, and maybe the second time he would be able to comprehend the information and pass all the tests. All of the girls seemed to like having an older hot guy to stare at, though, but thankfully no one approached us. They were either too intimidated by him, or maybe thought we were together. That didn't stop him from basking in the attention. I had to remind him that they were minors, and he physically couldn't do anything about any attraction they felt for him anyway. Only when I told him that he would embarrass himself by not even being able to please them with his warrior brand in place, and that he would be the height of all the worst rumors, did he stop trying to flirt back. I didn't find Sierra until lunch, when she ran up and almost tackled me. "Oh man, I have been trying to find you all day, but you aren't in any of my classes since they have you on a fast track and you get to skip all the unnecessary stuff." It's just like the first day I met her all over again. She is a force and I love it. She grabs my arm and drags me along to her table of friends, Wyatt following, a little bewildered in her wake. We eat lunch and she asks me 1,000 questions about living at the training compound. Her friends keep sneaking glances at Wyatt and he is eating up the attention. The rest of my day is the same. Nothing exciting. I get everything I need to get caught up with the rest of the kids in my classes, which thankfully is only a month's worth of work, and I don't have to do any of the projects. It should take me a week. Wyatt and I arrive back to the bunkhouse around 6. I made sure I had everything I needed to get started on all my assignments and checked in with Teresa to get any books she thought might not be here at the bunkhouse, since high school students don't normally participate in warrior training. Unfortunately, that's where my good day ended. As soon as we walked in the front door, Audrina was in my face and livid. "Where the hell do you get off? Not showing up for your mandatory training? If you can't handle being here, fetus, maybe you should take your sorry ass back to whatever pathetic pack you came from." For a moment, I just stood there. What was she talking about? "I don't have training today." Before I could say anything, Wyatt spoke up for me. "Back off. It's her first day. She barely has her schedule read, let alone memorized." That is no excuse. She is in warrior training now and should act like a responsible warrior, not the spoiled little child she is. She doesn't even look at him when she is speaking. She only has daggered eyes for me. I can actually feel the hate radiating off of her. Wyatt goes to speak again, but I put my hand up to stop him. She can be angry and petty with whatever issue she has with me. Call me names. I could care less. But she questioned my loyalty and responsibility, and that I won't stand for. Enough. Whatever problem you have with me is exactly that, your problem. Get over yourself. I have direct orders that come from above you, and I won't allow you or anyone else to FK with that. Do you hear me? You don't have to like me or even be nice to me, but you try and F with my schedule again and we will have real problems. I hissed. I take a step forward and get into her space. She doesn't back down, but I see the hesitation cross her green eyes. You want me at a training? Inform me, and not after the fact or at the last minute. You want me to be responsible for my own wake-up call. Just let me know. Act like the leader you are instead of the petulant child you seem to think I am. Now, unless you have a reasonable request for me, I have homework to get through before dinner. I cross my arms and stand there staring at her. I will not let another Kaylee run my life. I'm here with a fresh start, and I plan to live my life to the best of my ability. I don't care what your orders are. You are to report to training every morning at 5 a.m. and evening training at 5 p.m. No exceptions. Is that understood? She lowers her voice, trying to sound intimidating, but just coming of bratty. I decide to end this stupid power trip conversation. We can have a pissing match later. I have things to do. Yes, ma'am. May I go? I have to get started on my homework and Wyatt needs to report in. Go. Be on time for dinner and you are to sit with me tonight. I just nod. She thinks separating me from the couple of people I have managed to make friends with is a punishment. I will let her keep thinking that. I walk off towards the hallway with the study rooms and library, Wyatt hot on my heels. Okay, so not what you want to hear right now, but that was hot. He chuckles behind me. You are an idiot. You know that, right? Hey, not everyone can be a child genius. Some of us get by on our phenomenal looks. I just shake my head at him. What the hell are you studying anyway? I don't think I had this many books in the whole time I was in high school, let alone one semester. I am a freshman taking junior and senior classes, and I missed a month of them. I have to make up for the time I missed. I wish I would have been able to get started while I was sitting on my ass recovering in the hospital for a month. What the hell took a month to recover from? My eyes go wide. I don't even know why I said that. I am usually so careful with my word choices. We walk into the library and I literally am at a loss for words. I don't want to talk about Kaylee or what she did to me, but I can't seem to shake her either, not even this far away. It's not important. It was just really boring, and I could have gotten all of this done in that time. I roll my eyes, trying to move past his question. You don't have to say now, but you really should talk about what happened to you. If it was that bad, you need to make sure your head is on straight. They make all the warriors who come back from missions go through a mental evaluation every time. It's mandatory. We see the worst of the worst, and sometimes that messes with your mind. I know how good you are. You kicked my ass without breaking a sweat. But I also know that you wouldn't be here yet unless you needed to be. If you need to talk, we're all here. I look at him skeptically. Okay, maybe not all of us, but you get the idea. I just nodded my head. Sierra said the same thing, so did her parents, and even the guys before I really got hurt. I'm just not ready yet. I hate how weak I feel just thinking about what happened to me. Talking about it makes it that much more real and not just a nightmare. I really do have to study, but thank you, Wyatt, for everything today. He took the dismissal and turned to go. I'll come get you for dinner, okay? At least you can stand in line with us since you have to sit next to the hard ass. I nod again. Sounds good. I'll take all the relief I can get. He stepped out and closed the door. I got everything that is currently due mostly done and made a schedule for getting all the back work done. I'm hoping I can get caught up in a week, but adding in early morning and after school training with Audrina is going to cut into my time. I also decide to ask Lillian, Wyatt, and Nathaniel about getting an alarm clock, so I don't have to rely on Audrina to get me up until my body clock gets used to being here. Once I get a feel for the training schedule and how tired I will be after I can make a better study schedule. It feels like only minutes have gone by, but Wyatt knocks on the door and sticks his head in before I can even reply. All right, bookworm, enough of that. Pack up your ST and get your ass out here, and you are not allowed to ditch us after dinner either. You need a break. I just laugh as Nathaniel and Lillian both walk in behind him. They helped me gather everything up, and I was going to store my school books here. But after a very short discussion, he convinced me it was probably a better idea to keep everything in my room, so it can't be sabotaged by Audrina, since this is a common space. We dump all of my stuff on my desk and head down to the canteen for dinner. As requested, I am early enough to be close to the front of the line and here before Audrina. That wasn't good enough, of course. You were asked to be with me for dinner tonight. That includes standing in line. Can't you follow a simple instruction? How did you even convince Warrior Brogan to allow you to come here? Move. Now, Audrina snarls from about 10 people behind us. Lillian moves to do or say something, but just like Wyatt, I stop her. This has to be my fight. She is clearly trying to find a weakness to exploit, and she won't use my new friends as one. Actually, what you said was to be early to the line, and that I have to sit with you during dinner, which I am more than happy to comply with. You did not mention in your instructions where in the line I needed to stand, so I will remain here and wait for you to show us to our seats. I just turn around and face the front of the line again. This is going to get real old, real fast. We make it through the line, doing our best to ignore Audrina and her friends, who are all making little comments under their breath. I love the variety of food we get. Everything from steak and mashed potatoes to tacos to sushi. There's something for everyone and a ton of it. There's rarely much left over, too. The kitchen omegas are miracle workers. I get the basic idea of what a day full of training is like in a rapid fire from Nathaniel while in line. Wyatt must have explained what Drina tried to do to my school schedule and wanted to make sure I knew what was really going on before she tried to set me up again. Basically, we all start together first thing. We get announcements, find out about any missions that are up for grabs, things like that. Wait, we get to volunteer for missions? Sometimes. If they want to train people in a certain skill or have simple recon or protection details, they will let us sign up. For the more intense missions, specific people with specific skill sets are assigned, and it's not an option. Have any of you been on missions yet? No. We are all still on probation, just like you. Wyatt bumps my shoulder. But we do get to start going out into the community soon and helping around the Royal Pack territory. We will also start doing patrols soon too. It's all decided by the warrior leaders and the Elder Council. Well, hopefully I can do the territory missions and patrols with you guys. I hate missing out on stuff. Lillian just laughs at me. You're here 3 years sooner than you should be. We figured that out. I just smile back at her. We get to the end of the line, and I decide to stop pushing my luck with Audrina and wait with my plate while my friends slowly walk away. Lillian said they would try and stay close, just in case. But if they sit anywhere near her usual table, she'll probably steer us in another direction. This is so stupid. It's worse than the petty high school interactions I used to watch from a distance back home. Let's go, newbie. I follow Audrina and 2 other girls who are wearing the same look of distaste on their faces as she is. This should be super fun. We walked over to the table Lillian had pointed out before as theirs table in the middle of the canteen. This is clearly a place given a wide berth from the rest of the warriors. There's enough space to fit 10 wolves here, and it's just the 3 of them. Now, 4 including me. I make a move to sit on one of the benches. Not there. That's my seat, the darker brunette says to me. So I go to slide over on the bench. That's my spot. The lighter brunette whines. I have to fight a laugh. Are they serious? It's bench seating. There really aren't seats to have. This time, I do roll my eyes. You all realize it would go faster and be far less irritating if you just used your big girl words and told me where you wanted me to sit, right? You are wasting my time and missing out on your own dinner time, just trying to be difficult. You can be mean to me when you're all sitting and eating. Where do you want me? I gesture at the table. Hopefully, I can use logic and nonchalance to get through this dinner. I try to channel my inner Nathaniel. Over there. Audrina points to the opposite side of the long table. There are so many people in here now, and the table is so big I have to walk half the length of the room to get to the end, and walk back to the center of the table on the other side. Center of the center table. Yep, she likes the attention and wants to be in the middle of everything. I finally get to my seat, sit, and start eating without looking at them. They are going to try and keep me from eating, and I can't afford that. I still have Oliver's voice in my head, telling me I need more food, so I don't become malnourished again. What pack did you say you were from again? The dark brunette asks. I didn't, but I'm from Blue Crescent. I responded without looking up. And how is it you managed to get here at 15, when none of the rest of us were allowed until we turned 18? I mean, I am the best warrior to come out of my pack in 30 years. the lighter brunette asked. I don't actually know. After the trials, I was told that I could join when I graduated high school. That was the plan, but the plan clearly changed. I continued shoveling food into my mouth. What makes you so special that you know the Alpha King? Audrina asks. I'm sure plenty of people know him. I'm sure my age and early entrance to the warrior program were the reason he was here yesterday. I just have to keep my answers short and sweet. These girls strike me as the gossips, and they will use any info they learn to their advantage, including altering what they hear. No one else got a personal escort by the Alpha King, though. Not even Audrina, who got here the day after her 18th birthday. That's how good her training scores were. The dark brunette raises her eyebrow at me. I really should learn their names, but they aren't offering them up, and none of them have bothered to say mine, so I just let it go. I shrug in answer to her non-question. I have no control over who the Alpha King pays attention to. Do you think you're better than us? That you don't have to respect us, since you have been noticed by the Alpha King and personally trained by warrior assistant? The light brunette asks, letting her attitude slip in now, not bothering to pretend to be nice. No, I don't. I'm a warrior in training just like you, no better, no worse, just new. I don't know what I did to you, but I'm not the bad guy, and I'm not a threat. From what I understand, we are supposed to train like a team. I just want to train, become a warrior, and move forward with my life. As for respect, I give it when it's been earned. I figure I'll try to be the bigger person and slow down the hostility a little. But I'm also not going to let them walk all over me. I came here to get away from that. These three like a scene, and I refuse to give them one. We are your superiors. You'd better learn to respect and obey Bridget, Chelsea, and I. I'm done hearing how great you are, and you haven't even had to prove yourself yet. You're probably just a celtee who slept around so much you had to be sent here before you were discovered as a stain to your pack. I bet your alpha wanted you to have the warrior brand so you would be forced to keep your legs shut. Audrina is talking loud now and has the attention of the people surrounding us, but it won't be long before she has the whole room listening in. You have no idea what you're talking about, and you for sure don't deserve respect or any kind of obedience. What time is training in the morning? 5 a.m.? I believe you wanted me there early. Is that still the case, or is 5 a.m. satisfactory for you, Mom? I ask, standing up with my half-empty tray. I'm done sitting here listening to this B-teach try and sabotage me by insinuating stuff. No one knows why I'm here, and she isn't going to bait me into talking about it. And she's lost her mind if she thinks that I'm just going to blindly follow her. I just stand there staring at her. The ball is in her court. She can either back down on her ridiculous need to feel in power by giving me commands, or be a decent team leader and lead. 5 a.m. outside at the ropes course. Do not be late. I wouldn't dream of it. I walk off to dump my trash and see if I can find one of the kitchen omegas to see if I will be able to get some food or a snack early tomorrow morning. Lillian, Nathaniel, and Wyatt all get up to follow me. We head into the common area, but I cut back towards the kitchen. Where are you going? Lillian asks. We're not supposed to bug them while they are cleaning. I have to ask about getting something for breakfast, even if it's leftovers. Otherwise, Audrina is going to make sure I can't last during training tomorrow, and I can't have her starting or spreading any more rumors about me. She's already telling people that I slept my way here. My fighting needs to speak for itself, and I can't do that if she keeps messing with my mealtime. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. I head into the kitchen, which is bustling with about 10 people moving quickly, but not in a rush. Just a well-oiled machine that is on the move. I look around and spot an older man and woman deep in conversation over a few sheets of paper on the central prepping island. I walk to them. Excuse me. I just have a question when someone has a minute. I say loud enough to be heard over the din of all the pots, pans, and utensils being moved around the room and put back into their respectful places. Oh dear, You know you shouldn't be in here. You really should put in meal requests with your floor leader. The woman looks at me sternly. Of course, that's who I would have to go to. Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't know. My name is Skylar. Today is only my first full day, and I am still learning. I try playing the young and innocent card. My floor leader actually wanted to meet with me early tomorrow, and I think I might miss breakfast. I was hoping to plan ahead a little, and maybe have something set aside. Even just a small container of any leftovers would be perfect to get me started. I didn't want to wait until after everything was all cleaned up before I asked. I can even mix my own protein shake if we have the ingredients. I don't want to trouble anyone. I look between her and the man. Not to worry, Skylar. We will make sure there is something for you. What time do you have to meet with your leader? She wants me outside at 5 a.m., and I know we don't start breakfast until 5. I didn't want to get in the way of your prep for the rest of the warriors. I really don't want to get in the way or make things difficult for them. It can't be easy feeding this many people, let alone warriors who need to eat more than the average wolf. This is what we are going to do. Come on down at 4:30 and you ask for me, Stella, or Jack here, and we will make sure you get what you need, all right? Stella pats me on the shoulder. I just nod and smile, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. Thank you so much. You are a lifesaver. I wanted to jump over and give her a hug like I would with Lenny in the kitchen of the pack house back home, especially when she would sneak me extras when the guys weren't looking. She must read my thoughts. Come here, sweet girl. She opens her arms and I don't hesitate. I step right into them, savoring the feeling. I didn't realize how much I would miss little things like this being here. Sierra and the guys would hug me, but it's not the same as what it feels like to get that motherly hug like from Luna, Av, Martha, or Lenny. I take a deep breath in and just let the stress of the evening go when I let it out. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help out. I don't want to be a burden. I look up at her, ready to earn my place here. Scoot. I will see you in the morning. Stella smiles and then turns back to Jack, who has a funny look on his face. Maybe confusion or disbelief, but with a touch of humor in his eyes. I'll have to figure that out later. I step back out to find Lillian, Wyatt, and Nathaniel waiting for me. I need to get to bed, but I also need to figure out this alarm situation. I lead my friends up the stairs towards my room. So what am I going to do about the wake-up call? I didn't see any outlets in my room to plug anything in, and I didn't get the impression that we would have much in the way of electronics. You're not wrong. All the phones are kept down in the media room. We can actually have them at any time, but they only get charged there. No outlets outside that room are to be used for portable electronics, and the charging station is cubbies on a wall, with 2-foot cords, so most people choose to charge them overnight. You may want to do the opposite, though, and charge during the day so you have an alarm in the morning. Lillian rambles. I really just need to get my hands on an alarm that is battery-powered. Maybe Sierra can help me out. I'm thinking out loud. Technically, you are supposed to get approval from your floor leader for anything frivolous that you bring in your room. Nathaniel rolls his eyes. It's not frivolous, and I'm going to feign deafness during your last comment. I can play innocent for a couple more days, and I may need to get up early to get some studying in on my non-school days. So it's not frivolous. Can you two stop saying frivolous? Wyatt laughs. It's starting to sound weird. We sat in my room for a little while longer, just talking about how the training has been going since the trials, and what I can expect from the regular training tomorrow, when I finally join them after whatever Audrina has in store for me. When the chime goes off for us to head to our rooms for lights out, my friends all get up and start to file out. Nathaniel stops at the door and turns back to me. Here. He hands me a phone, and I raise an eyebrow at him, taking it tentatively. It's for tomorrow. I just set the password to 111,111. Use it as an alarm. We'll figure something out. There isn't anything on it that I'm worried about you seeing. I'm actually pretty boring. He smiles at me. Should I put something not boring on here? I tease him. Preferably not. I may be 18, but my mom still checks the thing like she thinks I'm a drug dealer. We both laugh. Actually, pictures of girls who aren't my sister might be helpful though, now that you mention it. I'll work on that. Thanks for this. I waved the phone. Not many people seem to be ready to jump in and be helpful. It's not that they don't want to. It's just that you're new and they don't know you yet. Not gonna lie, the ST Audrina is spreading my make it a little tougher. But I've seen you fight, and you seem to be a decent person. They'll see that too and come around eventually. Your whole situation is crazy, and some people here don't like change. We'll get through it. Thanks, Nathaniel. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the morning. I'll bring your phone with me so you can have it during the day. I wouldn't want your mom to get mad at you for not responding. I tease again. N.O. I jump a little at his forcefulness. He's not one to raise his voice. Sorry, no. Just no. Drina will have your head if she thinks you brought a phone to training with you tomorrow. And I wouldn't put it past her to check you for one. I'll just get it at lunch, or whenever. My mom actually might not mind if she knows I was helping out a pretty girl. He winks at me, effectively breaking the tension and making me giggle. If you're sure, I'll leave it in the top drawer on my desk if she separates us for rotations and we aren't back at the same time. Night, Nathaniel, and thanks again. He waves me off as he closes the door. I set the alarm for 3:30, so I have plenty of time to actually wake up. It's been over a month since I've gotten up at my usual time, and I'm not sure if my brain and body are consistent. I got up early today, but I think that was more out of excitement than anything. I was not wrong. My brain does not like this time of the morning, I think as I stop the alarm and drag myself out of bed. I fell asleep almost immediately after Nathaniel left last night, but it still feels like I just went to bed. This adjustment is going to suck. I just hope it only lasts a couple days and I can get back to my usual routine. I get dressed in my training gear and for good measure pack an extra set in a bag. I don't trust Audrina at all right now. I grab my things and pad downstairs carrying my shoes. There's no reason to get everyone else up if they can have a few more minutes of sleep. It's super important for us to get rest, especially if we have been shifting. It takes a ton of energy to shift to and from our wolf form, and we have to build a stamina for it during a fight. Lillian and the guys said that one of their early training experiences was having to shift and fight as a wolf, then shift back to human and keep fighting. The trainers just blew a whistle and were taking notes on how long it took you to shift from one form to another, and if you were able to avoid attack while doing it. I guess they did that for hours and then let the new recruits sleep it off for the rest of the day, because they were so tired. I make it to the kitchen and it is already bustling with life. Steam is coming from pots and I can hear sizzling from the pans on the stovetop. Dozens of metal pans have been lined up on the prep island and are being filled with various hot breakfast items by the kitchen omegas. Excuse me. I flag down one of the omegas who isn't carrying a large hot pan. Is Stella or Jack around? Are you, Skylar? I nod. Perfect. I just got this done for you. She hands me a protein shake and a large paper bag. What's all this? Stella thought you may need more than just a shake, so she had me pack a few things for after your early morning training that would be fast to eat. She winks at me and gives me a knowing look. Just let me know when you run low, and I can get you more and put the bottle in with the lunch dishes today, and I'll have another ready for you tomorrow, okay? You are seriously a lifesaver. I take the shaker bottle and bag, giving her a big smile. Thank you so much. Please let me know if I can help you all out here. I mean it. She smiles, but waves me off. I head out back, ready to meet Audrina. You're late. I know Warrior Brogan told you we do not tolerate lateness here. That's your second strike, and you've only been here for a day. And what are you carrying? I didn't tell you to bring anything. What was my first strike? I try to keep the BT-chiness out of my voice, but it is very difficult. This girl is going to try and get me kicked out for infractions. She's got another thing coming if she thinks it's going to be that easy. And I came prepared. You didn't expect me to go through an entire morning of training on an empty stomach, did you? You were late yesterday and missed classes. And no one gets into the kitchens early. Did you steal food? Ah, that was her plan. To have the school report me for skipping. Actually, I didn't miss a thing. My schedule was inaccurate, but thank the goddess I had a question for the secretary anyway, and double-checked my lessons. I'm so thankful that you were looking out for me and made sure I started training right by having to use my observation skills. That was really helpful. Wyatt enjoyed his time amongst the high school girls too. He was the perfect tour guide. You are great at pairing people up. I walk up to her side. You wanted to assess me yourself, I assume. Where to? I'm not even going to grace her stolen food comment. I'm sure if she was nice and actually asked, the kitchen omegas would help her too. But she acts like they are her servants and below her because they aren't warriors like her. I have no idea who is watching. I have to assume she is no better than Kaylee and has someone recording our interactions, and I will give them no reason to think that I instigated anything. Two of us can play this game. To the gauntlet. I want to see you complete it myself. I think Warrior Brogan allowed you to get in without a real assessment or discussion. The leaders of the compound were not even aware that you were joining until you showed up on my floor. I want to see what I have to deal with before we get to team training. She's mad she didn't get a say in whether I was allied to be here or not. Got it. I wonder if that is all this is, or if it goes deeper. I guess I'll know after this morning. We walk over to the gauntlet again. At least this time, I have an idea of what I'm doing. The difference here is there are no lights, and the sun hasn't started to rise. My werewolf sight helps, but working in the dark isn't ideal for anyone, enhanced senses or not. Do I have a goal or time limit? Anything I need to keep in mind while I'm doing this? I ask the same thing I asked Warrior Assistant. Just get through the course like your first day. She rolls her eyes. Okay. She doesn't believe I did that either. Same as when I was here with Warrior Assistant. I lined up at the end of the poles, stuck into the ground, and waited for her signal to start. I knew this wasn't going to be a cakewalk, but I thought I would at least have some kind of advantage having done this once already. But Audrina knew what she was doing, bringing me out here this early in the morning. The dew had settled on everything, and without the sun to evaporate it, everything was slick as shea tea, and the course had to be navigated completely differently than the first time. Get your scrawny ass moving. I thought you did this once already, or was that made up bullshit too? Audrina taunts. I just keep moving. I wouldn't let her distract me on a normal day, let alone when I really need all my brain cells to complete this course. I finally make it through to the end, covered in mud from the last section of the course climbing over and under beams. I know my hands are shredded from some of the ropes, and we haven't even started real training yet. Stand up straight. At least act like a warrior who has some basic training. She snarls at my bent-over form. I have my hands on my knees trying to catch my breath, but my pride wins out, and I straighten to look her in the eye. At least I can say you actually completed the course now. Let's go. My retort dies as she takes off like lightning through the trees. I don't know this area at all, so I have to keep her in my sights. I have no idea what her plan is, but losing me in the woods off-trail is not something I'm going to let happen. We run for what feels like forever. It is exhilarating. I didn't realize how much time has gone by since I have actually let loose and just run, full tilt to my body's limits. My wolf is purring in my head and hoping we get to shift and run soon too. She hasn't been out longer than me and is starting to go stir crazy in my head. Don't worry. I'm sure we will be shifting a ton now, and you don't have to be a secret anymore. I didn't mind being your secret, as long as I get to be out once in a while. It was for your protection more than anything. We begin to slow down, and I can see the lights of the compound coming up ahead. We run by the ropes course and pick up our bags. I'm trying to control my breathing. I don't want her to know how out of shape I am and feel right now. I pull out the shake, and Audrina looks at me incredulously. Where did that come from? There's no food in the dorm rooms. I stopped by the kitchen on my way out. I shrug. I don't owe her an explanation of any kind. The kitchens are closed outside of mealtimes. You are not to be in there. That's grounds for punishment. You are just racking them up left and right. She's starting to look smug, but angry. I plan ahead. I assumed we would miss breakfast. Stella and Jack set me up. I keep my eyes forward. We walk around the back of the house, where I hear a low din of voices when I am wrapped up in a tight hug. You survived. Wyatt's whisper yell comes from somewhere above my head, but I can't see through all his bulky arm muscles. Not yet. I have to make it through the rest of the day, then we can celebrate, I say as I finish off my shake and put the bottle back in my bag. At least now, no matter how brief the moment is, I can be out of Audrina's orbit. Warriors Assistant and Nicholas are at the front of our group in quiet conversation when we walk towards the front. I don't want to miss any instructions, and Audrina is less likely to mess with me this close to the leadership. There she is. I was hoping to see you today. Warrior Nicholas walks over and gives me a tight side hug. I'm glad you're finally here. I wish the reason for it was better, though. Let me know if you need anything. He whispers the last part and gives me a pointed look. I figured he would, but it still bugs me a little that he knows why I'm really here too, and had probably been given all the details. All right, folks, let's get started. Skylar here is new to the ranks. Nicholas and I will be catching her up this week. Then she will be added into regular rotations. A chorus of "Yes, sir" comes from the large group. Let's go. He points at me and I follow. We start with a light jog, and soon the path becomes familiar. At least running like this, at a normal pace, I can notice my surroundings and start to learn the territory. We ran the loop twice, which took almost an hour. My lungs are burning from the exertion and lack of use, but I refuse to look like it on the outside. Especially after everything that Audrina implied. I am out of shape and going to have my ass handed to me today. But I won't look weak. After the group run, we broke into 3 smaller groups and true to their word, Warriors Assistant and Niklos kept me with them. But I was by no means separated from the group. We were sparring one-on-one in human form for the first rotation. All right, little one, I want to see the extent of your injury recovery. You haven't grappled in over a month and we need to see what muscles are still healing. I want you to start slow. Don't look at me like that. Clearly, my face isn't doing a good job of hiding my irritation of being told to take it easy. This is a body and movement assessment. Once I see how everything moves, I will let you know what you are allowed to do at full force and what we need to get stronger before I allow that. I will not have you re-injuring yourself just for your pride. If you are out with a serious injury, you are useless to us. At least working slowly, you can actually train and be an asset. Got it? I fight an eye roll. He's right, but I don't want to go slow. I'm tired of not being able to move and work. It's becoming frustrating, and I didn't realize how much I rely on the release from the workout. Got it, I grumble, moving into position. All right, let's start with arm blocks, holds, and releases. Then we will move into leg work. From there, we will start to grapple full body. I just nod. I want to talk less and move more. For the next 3 hours, Nicholas pushes my body to the limits. I hate to admit that he was right, even in my own head. I needed to go slow. I have lost so much muscle and flexibility, but the muscle memory is there. I know what each move is supposed to feel like, which is helpful. This time, I think we have been going for at least 5 minutes. He has finally let me start to use my full body, and he is trying to pin me on the ground. I was just told I have to hold him off until warrior assistant calls time, and who knows how long they are going to let me go. Finally, a whistle blows, and warrior Nicholas stands from his attack position. Great work. We have a few things to work on, but far better than I expected. We'll do this again at your next training session. Then I think we can start to mix you into the rest of the group. He pats me on the shoulder as we walk over to where the water station is. Thanks. Is there anything I can do on my own to make this recovery crap go faster? I hate that my training is broken up. I look over at him before I basically start chugging water. There's a lot she needs to work on. I evaluated her ropes course this morning, and she barely survived it. Are we sure she should even be here? Audrina chimes in. I notice warrior assistant is nowhere near hearing distance. Why did you assess her? Her ropes course was already documented, and I don't recall assigning that task to you or anyone else. He looks sternly at her, and I want nothing to do with this conversation. None of the warriors saw her assessment. How was I supposed to know that it had been completed? Usually the floor leaders run the assessments, and the whole compound witnesses. She shrugs. So you chose to assess me at 5 a.m. with no witnesses to right that wrong? Good to know. I look at her, and warrior Nicholas raises his eyebrows and looks between the two of us. Really, Audrina? He just stares at her. She isn't at all of the training, so I utilized the time I had. She's too young and green to be here, so young her training load had to be lightened. I needed to know what I was going to be forced to work with. She's on my floor and a part of my team, and I don't need anyone holding us back. A low grumble comes from his chest. He clearly doesn't like being told what to do by a trainee. His eyes go vacant for a minute while he mind links with someone. Gather up. Warrior assistant's deep, gravelly voice thundered around the group. I can tell this is not something normally done, as everyone is looking around while they are tentatively moving as a mass towards him. Apparently, some of you like to run your mouths and question authority. You are given the information you need to go about your business and become a better warrior that the Alpha King can rely on. You are not privy to all information at all times, and you do not have the right to all information at all times. At any given time, a third of you have orders that do not coincide with the rest of the team. Get over yourselves. Do what is asked, or you can go back to wherever you came from if you really need to be nosy Nellies. Now get to your next session. Skylar, you stay with me. Apparently you've already done your ropes course for the day. Warrior assistant starts to walk off, and there is a whole lot of murmuring of what that was about. So much for not gossiping. I caught up to warrior assistant. I can do the course again. I don't want anyone else thinking I'm getting special treatment. That seems to be the consensus. That, and I apparently had to sleep with people to get here. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, little one. You're new, and it's rare that anyone comes in this late to training. You will be of interest to most of them for a couple weeks. Then you will just be one of the trainees. I want to train with my group, if that's an option. I have to learn to trust these people, even the less than helpful ones, and they have to learn to work with me. I'm not trying to prove anything. Not really, not like that. I have to prove myself to be accepted here. It's the only way. If you say so, let's go. He changes direction and heads towards the ropes course. Once we get there, he looks over at me. So, normally, we break down the ropes obstacles and do different team building exercises. Today, we are working the bridges. So do I work by myself or pick a group? You work with the people on your floor. I snap my head to him. It's both men and women. This is a large group exercise for when we do larger evacuations. And unfortunately, there have been far too many of those in recent history. Yes, the floor leaders are in charge of the exercise. He answers my unasked question. Perfect. I walk over to where Audrina and the rest of our floor is standing, waiting to get on the course. In the light of day, and not in the middle of running the course, I can see different rope ladders and access points to each part of the course, so I can actually come out here and take the time to figure out each course piece. That is when I get the time. I look forward to that. Hey newbie, up here with me. A very large guy standing next to Wyatt calls over to me. Put her in the back where she belongs. Then she can't hold us up. Audrina throws over her shoulder at him. That's the dumbest thing I have ever heard. First, we don't put newbies in the back, especially when we don't know all of their skills. Second, this newbie happens to be the most agile person on ropes I have ever seen and should be one of the first people to go. You weren't at trials. You didn't see what her skills were at all. Be petty and judgy later. We need to complete this course in record time. I'm done losing to Jack and his crew by seconds. He must be the male lead on our floor for Audrina to not have a snarky response to him, informing her I'm good at something. Whatever. If we lose this challenge because she's here, I'm going to blame you, and you both can do the punishment together for the whole team. Suits me, tall guy says. Name's John, but everyone calls me Tracker. We have to get all 20 of us across and down in the shortest amount of time. We have been doing training drills for a few weeks. Stick close to me. You seem to read the room pretty well. Any suggestions, I'll take them, but watch first to gather intel. Got it. I ignore Audrina the best I can. She's on my team, and eventually we are going to be forced to work together. But at least for now, there are so many people, and she is in her element of being in charge and verbalizing her game plan. I do not matter enough for her attention since Tracker seems to have taken me under his wing. Unfortunately, listening to her, I understand why she's in her position. She's at least smart and knows what she's doing. As a group, we scale these small metal pegs hammered into the uprights. The pegs are so tiny, even my feet are going to have a hard time fitting quickly. I don't know how Wyatt, Tracker, and some of these other guys are going to manage to move up quickly. From there, we are scaling across the rope bridge that has a single rope for feet and single rope for hands, and the bars in between to keep them about 7 feet apart. If we had children with us on the evacuation, there's no way any of us would choose this bridge style. I say as much to Tracker. Do we assume we have children or elderly in these exercises? Or so we assume everyone can traverse this setup since it wouldn't be practical for those demographics? I ask the back of Tracker's head while our group moves forward. We should always assume the worst case scenario. That means children, elderly, sick, injured, every type of person we could come across. Why do you ask? In a real-life situation, there is no way one of us is going to set a bridge like this. Even in the worst situation, if we have children or injured people, they are going to need to be carried across. I am the smallest person here, and I have done this alone twice this week, and I can barely touch both ropes at the same time. That makes me slower. An untrained person would be worse, and whatever we were evacuating from would probably capture or kill us. Do we go single file, or can the rope handle more than one at a time? So far, Jack's team and ours are the fastest, and both teams go single file and send people every 2 feet, give or take. The rope can hold a significant amount of weight if it is tied properly like this one is. Is the rope tying something we train as well? I would love to learn that. It is. But focus. What are you suggesting? He gives an amused smirk at my excitement over tying rope. That we double up. There's 20 of us. We could go across in pairs, instead of sending each across one at a time. We've all made it to training, so I have to assume everyone here is strong enough and coordinated enough to do that. It will be a huge test of trust for the person piggybacking. It is the most realistic scenario, though. If you have a small child who is scared, they are going to be difficult enough to get moving, let alone adding a huge height to the mix. You might be onto something. Let me talk to Audrina. I grab his arm before he can get away. Don't tell her it was my idea. For whatever reason, she hates me, and will shut it down if she thinks I suggested it. He huffs and rolls his eyes. Sounds about right. No worries. Then he walks away to give Audrina my plan. Within 5 minutes of them talking, she shouts, "Gather round, new plan." Once we are all together, she squats in the middle and we huddle around, listening to her give us the plan in a hushed voice. We are going to pair up once we get to the top. We have done this single file plenty of times, and it hasn't made us any faster. Pair off one male, one female. This isn't a men are stronger thing, so don't complain. The guys are statistically taller than the women, and this will work in our favor. Ladies, we're going to ride piggyback and go across in pairs. Since this hasn't been tested, give just a bit more space between partners to stay safe. Also, ladies, work as lookouts. Make sure the trainers don't have any plans to strike at us. We need to knock Jack's team off their pedestal. Everyone is nodding their head in agreement and starting to pair off. I've got the midget. Wyatt wraps his arm around my neck as Tracker points at me. Are you sure you can handle her? Trackers rolls his eyes, but gives a playful smirk. All right, assholes, don't fight over the new toy. A woman in her mid-20s says to them both. I'm sure you'll both have plenty of time to work with her. She smiles at me and moves close and whispers, "Nice plan." She may or may not give you any credit, but several of us heard you come up with it. She winks and moves off to another guy in our group. I just smile. I don't really care about credit as long as we win. We're next. Audrina shouts to us. Get ready. No sooner does she say that than the horn sounds. We have to scramble up the little ladder spokes, but as soon as each pair reaches the top, the female partner launches onto her male partner and they start to shimmy across the rope. It dips with the combined weight, but the guys are more than capable of hanging on. If it was me, I would have been hanging by just my hands. There's no way I was going to be able to reach both with the large guys on here too. You ready, Midge? Wyatt asks. We are the second to last pair to go, but it seems to be working. Our team is flowing up and across like ants on a mission. You head up first. That way I can keep pace with you. I don't argue and start the ascent. Once we are both at the top, he reaches out a hand. I take it and use his thigh as a step up onto his massive back. My arms just barely connect around his neck, but his waist narrows out just enough for me to wrap my legs around and cross my ankles. He grabs the upper rope and takes a tentative step forward, letting the lower rope dip with our weight before he starts stepping one foot in front of the other. As soon as we reach the first upright pole and he has to let go, I hear a click echo around us. I look below and see each of the trainers aiming what looks like guns at us. What the hell? Wyatt, we've got trouble. I think they are going to try and shoot at us. Move your ass. Where are they? One at 12 o'clock, two at 3 o'clock, one at 6 o'clock, and 3 at 9 o'clock. But I don't know if they would aim at us or the other team. Would they really shoot us? It's probably just paintballs, but they turn the guns up to full velocity. Yes, they will really try and hit us, and those F-cars hurt. He picks up the pace, but we can only go so fast without making the whole bridge start to sway. I relate the info to the pair behind us, and then to the pair in front of us. Everyone on piggyback is on the lookout to see who is going to strike first. The pair in front of us makes it to the platform just as they start to open fire. We are just crossing the halfway point and still have about 20 feet to go. I feel the first splat of paint hit my arm, and Wyatt wasn't wrong. This she-tea stings. I take a few more to each arm, and then I hear the consistent splats and can feel the paint splash over Wyatt's shoulder at me. I can't see, Wyatt shouts. They tried and failed to get me to let go, so they started going for Wyatt's face. Hold on, Ty, for just a second. I'm going to adjust. I let go with one hand and reach under his arm. What the fuck are you doing? Don't let go. You're going to fall. We are both going to fall if you can't see, or if the rope gets too slippery to move. Just trust me. I shimmy under his arm, moving my legs as little as possible, but reaching both arms underneath and grabbing his biceps and using them to pull myself to his front. I take the hem of my shirt and wipe his face. Blink. Can you see better? I ask as I start to take a volley of hits to my back. He does what I say. Yeah, I'm good, but you are getting pummeled. Move back. Not a chance. Focus on the rope, and I will keep them from hitting you in the face. Now get us off this ride. You got it, boss. I take a look behind him, and the last pair did the same. She is protecting his face too, but she looks like a Jackson Pollock painting. I'm sure I look no better. As I take another shot to the head, I risk moving to look Wyatt in the eye. Any day now, big guy. He huffed a laugh and started to move again. Oh, this shetty is slippery, he shouts in my ear as his foot almost slips off the rope in front of him. Don't try and step. Slide your feet like ice skating, same with your hands. Move quickly. They've stopped shooting, probably to reload. I say to the pair behind us, as much as to Wyatt. We finally make it to the platform, but the trainers have reloaded, and now we have to make it down among the new wave of paintballs. As Wyatt sets me down, I notice more than half our team is still up here. What are you guys waiting for? An invitation? Get down the ladder. I shout at them. They all jump like coming out of a trance and start to scramble down one at a time. It's still slow going now that the trainers have targeted the rungs of the ladder, making it slick with the oily paint. We get to the bottom, followed by the last pair, and then we take off running. I keep up with Wyatt, not really sure where to go, but figure we must be trying to cross some sort of finish line. Time! Warrior Nicholas shouts. Not bad. Circle up, everyone. Let's talk this out. All the teams that just ran the course ran over. The people in the front took a knee so the rest of us can all see and hear clearly. Team 1, you successfully made it across with all of your team members today, with the ropes expanded to 8 feet apart. Team 2, you also completed the course and faster than Team 1. Both teams used the one-by-one method all of you have been practicing for the last few weeks. Team 3, you chose to try a different method, which earned you an additional phase of attack. There were grumbles around me, but I don't really understand why. Can anyone tell us why the additional attack was needed? Warrior Nicholas asked, as if no one was making a sound. Audrina raises her hand, then starts to speak. As a team, the buddy system was getting us across faster than the one-by-one method. But that also made the human backpacks vulnerable to other outside attacks. The paintballs were used to slow us down on several different fronts. The people carrying had to fight the slippery rope, and those riding unfortunate enough to get shot had to hang on to their slippery partner. Correct. Good observation. How did Team 3 adjust to the attack? What was done right? The two that were riding shifted to the front to protect the partners crossing the bridge, which lowered the risk of falling, but the riders took an onslaught of hits. The woman who called me the new toy earlier answered. What could have been fixed? Skylar, I'll let you answer this since you took the brunt of the attack. My eyes went wide. I was not prepared for the attention. I make eye contact with Audrina, who gives me a squinted look, probably trying to say, "Don't F-cake this up, newbie." I think having more of our team on the ground neutralizing the attackers would have helped, and we may have suffered less hits and would have cut our time down some. The paintball attack was clearly something that no one was expecting, and it caught everyone off guard. Maintaining awareness in the chaos and staying focused on the objective until the assignment is complete is probably the biggest lesson here. I finish, not looking around since the whole group has gone completely silent. Nicholas gives me a smirk and then looks over to Warrior Osiston. Why did no one try to stop the trainers from firing on your team? Warrior assistant asks. You all stopped to gawk at the 2 pairs that were being pulverized by thousands of paintballs. And we each unloaded about 1,000 rounds. He looks pleased with himself, and I had to fight an eye roll as I noticed the blue color, that is the most prominent color dripping from me, happens to match the paint in his gun. He had far too much fun shooting me, the jackass. Who decided to pair up Team 3? Warrior Nicholas asks. The team leaders, of course. Audrina speaks up. The new toy girl was right. She would take credit if it was being praised. It was a team collaboration. Tracker supplies. A fresh set of eyes and a new perspective allowed us to adjust our game plan, and for the most part, it did work in our favor. Now we have something new to work through. Spoken like a true leader, Tracker. All of you who were hit with paint, go shower quickly and clean up. We will make sure you get lunch. The rest of you grab your thing and head on in to eat. Warrior assistant says, and a chorus of yes, sir follows before we all disperse. That was awesome. Lillian runs over to Wyatt, and I, laughing. I think I might have peed my pants if I would have had to climb around from back to front like that, though. What was I supposed to do? Wyatt couldn't see, and the ropes were getting more and more slippery with every shot. I was able to protect his face better too, since he needed his hands to get the both of us across. There was no other way that was going to work. We got to our things behind the bunkhouse, and Wyatt and I headed to the side entrance with the other people who got hit with paint, so we didn't track it through the main level. Lillian told us she would save us a seat and said she wanted details about climbing Wyatt like a tree. I think even with the Warrior brand, that girl might be boy crazy. We head up, and Wyatt leaves me on my landing, saying he'll meet me at the main stairs in 10 minutes. I rush to my room and grab my things to shower quickly. I tried my best, but I took most of the shots to the back of my head, and that greasy paint was not coming out in the spit shower I had time for. I can't wait to go back downstairs and have Audrina give me a hard time for it. But there's nothing I can do about her attitude towards me. And I really need to eat after all of that. And we still have afternoon training to do. I take a deep breath and head towards the stairs as I finish adjusting my shirt. Where's the fire? We have time, Midge. I'm starving and we have more training later. I whine at him and he just laughs at me. Stop laughing. I still have homework too. Let's go. I start running down the stairs as he starts laughing at me again. I see you tried really hard to get all that paint out of your hair. Nathaniel smiles as we meet up with him in the line. Shut up. This ST is going to take a few washes to come out, but keep making fun of me, and we'll see if I protect you from shots being fired. I raise my eyebrows at him. Good point. You took a lot of hits. He coughs a little before laughing again, and we join in with him. I'm glad you did, though. We never would have made it across otherwise. Whatever is in those paintballs sucked to have in my eyes. I couldn't see a thing. Midge had to use her shirt to clean my face while holding on like a little monkey. It was pretty impressive. We make it over to a table Lillian has for us. Yes, that move was definitely hot, and something I will store away for the right moment when I find my mate. She says, like she's been a part of the conversation the whole time. Make sure you get enough protein in. We are shifting later, and your wolf will need the energy. More food? Got it. You don't have to tell me twice. And I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry, Wyatt. Sorry? Why are you sorry? I didn't even think about being up in your personal space, or if that would even bother you. I'm sorry. Midge, you saved us from falling. Don't ever be sorry for that. And no one who has looked at you or been around you would ever be mad about you crawling all over them, brand or not. He winks at me. I just didn't even think about anyone not being comfortable with being that close to someone else. My friends and I back home were just really tight like that. Just tell me if I do something that bothers you, all right? You helped us win. Even with the rest of our team completely distracted and not being helpful at all, we won. You could tell me to wear a dress, and I probably would if you could guarantee that we achieve our goal. Wyatt laughs, and we all join in. You like to wear dresses, huh? Just another piece of information to store away for later. Lillian wiggles her eyebrows at him. Shut up. He tries looking angrily at her, but it doesn't last, and we all end up laughing at him. We are wrapping up when a very official-looking guy walks into the canteen, and everyone goes quiet. The three-piece gray suit is very out of place here with everyone in training gear. He looks stern, like he's on a mission, and takes everything way too seriously. I wonder who's in trouble now. I need to speak with Skylar. He looks around the room, clearly not knowing who he's looking for. I have a message from Luna Queen Anne. He continues to look around. I stand up slowly and move towards him. What could the Luna Queen have for me? I've only been here 2 days. I make it to him by the door, hoping that he will walk out into the hallway to talk to me. No such luck, figures. I'm Skylar, sir. I shift a little closer to the door to hint at wanting to step out, but he basically blocks my way with his large frame. Luna Queen Anne would like you to be at the Royal Pack House Saturday morning at 6 a.m. for your fitting. Someone will be here to pick you up at 5:30, and you will have breakfast with the Luna Queen before. She also wanted me to give you this. He hands me a very fancy-looking thick envelope. We will see you this weekend, Miss Skylar. With that, he turns and leaves me just standing there a little stunned. I walk back to the table with my friends. What did he want? Lillian doesn't hesitate to ask. To give me a message from Luna Queen Anne. I flash the envelope at them. Well? She looks at me expectantly. Well, what? Oh, for goddess sake, what does it say? The suspense is killing me. The Luna Queen really doesn't have much to do with warriors in training. Oh, I haven't opened the envelope yet. But I have to go to the Royal Pack House Saturday morning to meet with her. Seriously, open the damn thing. I smile at her excitement and open the steel gray envelope and pull out a thick card folded in two. It has the royal seal embossed on the front, and the edges have a fancy fray, making it look handmade. Actually, it probably is, come to think of it. When I open it, the first thing I notice is the scrolling, elegant handwriting. This woman obviously puts a lot of thought and effort into her notes. Skylar, you are formally invited to the Alpha King's annual Elders Conference and Ball, as Prince Alexander's escort. A car will pick you up promptly at 7 in the morning to bring you to the Royal Pack House to begin preparations for the day. You will be excused from training Saturday and Sunday as the ball will run late, and your presence is needed for the full duration. I look forward to seeing you for your dress fitting this Saturday. I hope all is going well with your training and you are settling into our pack. I look forward to catching up with you. Luna Anne. I read through the letter and then read it out to my friends. What does she mean by catching up with you? Audrina snarks over my shoulder, and I jump a little. I didn't even notice her coming up behind me. Is that really any of your business? Lillian asks, and I raise my eyebrows at her. That was either a really brave question or really stupid. It is if one of my team members is going to be missing training. Missing training has nothing to do with Skylar catching up with the Luna Queen. You were obviously eavesdropping enough to hear that the Luna Queen has invited Skylar to the Royal Pack House this Saturday and next, so she will be missing training. That's really all the information you need, isn't it? Lillian is playing with fire, but she's not wrong. Audrina looks at Lillian for a brief second and clearly makes a decision. If Skylar is going to be a part of my team, she needs to be present for all of the required training. I am already forced to put up with her frequent absences since she hasn't had the capacity to even finish school yet. Are you serious? She's ahead by 2 years and probably smarter than the rest of us combined, Wyatt adds in. Let's not get carried away. Audrina, the Luna Queen has requested my presence. There's not really anything you or I can do about that, is there? What does she mean you'll be Prince Alexander's escort? I think she's whining now. I'm pretty sure that part is the most self-explanatory. Nathaniel responds. I cut them off with my hand as all my friends seem to want to keep stepping in to defend me. They won't always be there to buffer the animosity she seems to radiate around me. Prince Ander and I are friends, and she clearly wants me at this event. Since he hasn't found his mate yet, he is vulnerable to all of the social climbing people in attendance. By having an escort, it allows him a level of protection from them, and anyone else who may want to cause trouble or harm. The protection becomes twofold since I am also a warrior. You aren't an elite warrior yet. Don't get ahead of yourself. I didn't say elite warrior, just warrior, which I am, and plenty of people here can attest to that. Having a warrior assigned as his escort allows other warriors to focus on the king and queen's protection if they aren't in the same social groups all evening. It's a strategic move and less conspicuous having someone closer to his age attend with him than having a guard flanking him all night. I still want to know what you did to get all of this special treatment from everyone. It's not special treatment. I worked my ass off to get here just like everyone else. My circumstances are not normal, but if it was necessary for you to know more than you do, Warrior Osistin would have given it to you. Like he said yesterday, at any given time, a third of us have orders that may conflict with what the group is doing. Do you trust him? Of course I do. He is my mentor. Warrior Brogan saved me after my pack was attacked and brought me here. What I want to know is how you got him to tell you his first name and let you use it. How did you become friends with the Alpha Prince so quickly? You talk about social climbing people wanting to get to him. How do we know you're not one of those people? My friends are just watching the conversation like a tennis match. If I was on the outside looking in, I would probably find it very funny. In all honesty, you don't know. But I have clearly been looked into by Warrior Osistin, the Alpha King, and whoever else handles all of that, and been found to be trustworthy for this job. If you don't agree with the decision, I suggest you take it up with that team. I will continue to follow orders. I stood up and grabbed what's left of my food. I know I need to finish it, but I'm done talking to her and she won't leave, so I have to. I grabbed the shaker bottle from my bag, too, so I can take it into the kitchens to Stella and Jack and take up just a little more time. When I get back to the table, Lillian has my bag and all my friends are waiting for me. Lillian has a big she-teeding grin on her face. You should have seen her after you walked off and basically dismissed her. She isn't done trying to imply that you shouldn't be here. She's just mad because she isn't the favorite she thought she was. She's had a bit of a hero worship problem with Warrior Brogan and sticks to him like a shadow. He has never treated her any differently. Even as a team leader, she's treated the same as the rest of them. I just don't think she sees it. It is a little weird, though, Nathaniel says as we start walking back out to the open space behind the bunkhouse. It's almost like she has a crush on him, but that's impossible with the brand. We don't get any of those emotions. Love, lust, infatuation, desire of any kind is overridden by the warrior brand. No one dates here, no secret hookups. We just don't get those desires at all. We can't afford to have the drama that relationships can cause, especially being with each other 24/7. Maybe it's from before she got her brand. She remembers him saving her. It could be just that, hero worship. I say, does anyone know anything about her pack or what happened? Maybe she lost her mate. If she was 18, it could have been shortly after finding him, and she transferred her feelings in her grief. And that's the last of that type of emotion she remembers. It still doesn't excuse the way she keeps treating you, so stop trying to make me feel bad for her. Lillian snaps playfully at me. I'm not. I just want to get to the bottom of it. I can't control how she acts. But if I understand why she acts that way, I can control my reactions and responses. Are you sure you're only 15? That sounds like something my mom would say. Nathaniel laughs. When you spend a lot of time teaching pups, you learn to look at the bigger picture and not react emotionally, no matter how bad you want to. I won't give anyone control over my emotions. It's the one thing that no one can take from me, my control on how I react. He saved the necessity of responding when Warrior Nicholas steps in front of us. We are sparring as wolves today, so we won't divide like we normally do. We are working on evasion and submissions today. There should be no injuries. The goal is to capture your opponent with no way for them to escape or need medical attention from you. You should always have at least one person to interrogate, especially when they are attacking. Head to the green and Warrior. Brogan and I will divide you up. We all start moving, and I can feel myself start to get anxious. This means I will have to change in front of these people, and I don't want to have to answer any questions. I can feel my breathing pick up as we move closer to the open space he called the green. "Hey, Midge, you all right? You look a little pale," Wyatt asks, getting Lillian and Nathaniel's attention too. "No, yeah, I'm good. I can't look him in the eye, though." "You can shift, right? I guess you wouldn't be here if you couldn't yet," Nathaniel says to himself more than to me. "Yeah, no, I'm okay. I can shift. I just don't really like changing in front of people. I'll be fine. I just wasn't expecting it, that's all." I take a deep breath, trying to control my breathing. I can get through this. I have to get through this. I chose to keep the scars when I was given the chance to get rid of them. Now I have to live with my decision. One more big, deep breath as we all set our bags down and turn to get instructions. All right. Those of you that were at trials got a glimpse of this technique. Those of you who were unable to go, this is what we are trying to accomplish. "Skylar, step up," Nathaniel calls out and looks directly at me. I stop breathing and freeze. I did not stutter. Move. I jump like my ass was bit and move forward. Lose the shirt. You're going to shift mid-fight. The less clothes we have to replace, the better. I turn and slowly take my shirt off with shaky hands. I keep my eyes closed as I turn back towards him. Take another deep breath. Open my eyes and move to the center of the circle towards Warrior Nicholas. I can hear murmurs, but nothing any of them are saying. I keep my focus on Nicholas in case he plans on throwing some kind of surprise attack, after obviously getting me emotionally disoriented. We are going to spar for 5 minutes. You must stay in the circle the entire time. When I shift, you do. Your one goal is to evade capture. Do you understand your assignment? I nod. It's all I've got to give at this moment. He doesn't spare me much more than that moment, before he starts to circle me like a predator does his prey. His eyes are calculating. He's sizing me up even though we have fought a few times now. I have changed a bit since the locker room and haven't actually done any kind of sparring for over a month now. As the thought hits me, I realize I am nervous for the first time in a very long time. But I can't decide if it is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm weak and out of shape, but I have enough training that muscle memory should kick in and help me out. Don't worry, sweet girl. We will do this together. My wolf reminds me she's here with me. I'm not alone. Save your energy as much as possible. We have no idea when he's going to shift, and that is the one thing we are lacking experience in. Shifting and fighting immediately following. No sooner did I say that than Warrior Nicholas charged at me. I blocked his arms but wasn't quick enough to stop the leg sweep that followed, and I started to fall towards my back. I used the momentum to grab at his arm and pull him back with me, throwing him back over my shoulder as I rolled backwards. He was forced to release his grip and tuck and roll forward. I was quicker to my feet and stepped back. I wasn't going to charge at him yet. I need to get him to use up some of his energy first, especially before he forces us to shift. He jumps up, turns, and starts moving forward in a fluid motion, someone his size shouldn't be able to do, but he made it look like nothing. He reaches me and grabs for my arm, and I turn out of his grasp only to be caught by his other arm. I take a swing of my own, making an attempt to free myself from his massive hand. He didn't let go, but I know the contact affected him by the look on his face. We keep this stance up for a little while. Close combat is something I am good at. My size usually requires it, but it is difficult for my larger friends. I will take any advantage I can get. He grabs my wrist and spins me, aiming for a headlock, but he overestimates my height, and I slip back under his arm, pulling him with me. He aims a punch at my ribcage, which knocks all of my breath out of my body, and I see a flash of white for a brief second with the pain. He pulls down on my wrist, trying to get me to the ground again. I roll and hit him in the chest with as strong a kick as I can muster at this point, but it was enough. He stumbles back, looks at me and smiles. It is the most wickedly playful smile I have ever seen. The fire in his eyes lets me know I am in deep tea. He takes 2 running steps and jumps, shifting in midair. I don't even hesitate to run forward, slide under his shifting form, and shift to my wolf as I stand to all fours, and he lands facing me. His massive, rust-colored wolf has his head tipped low to the ground, both amber eyes locked on me, muscles rippling, tensed and ready to pounce on me. My wolf shifts her chest low to the ground, ready for anything. We can jump head-on or dodge either right or left. The benefit to being small is I am always close to the ground, and I know how to brace my center of gravity. He charges at me, and my wolf dodges right and aims a bite at his front left leg. He's too quick for us, though, and pivots just out of reach and whips his hind legs around to barrel into our side. We take the hit and absorb it in a roll, back to our feet before he can pounce. We charge at him, this time taking the offense. He lowers his head, anticipating a head-on attack. Instead, we jump up and over his head, landing on his back, another benefit to being smaller. We sink our teeth into the scruff of his neck and clamp down like our life depends on it. He flails around, trying to knock us off, but we extend our claws and hang on for the ride. When I look back on this, I may laugh at the idea of me riding on his back like a horse. But right now, I'm determined to win this battle and survive. He whips his head down, trying to throw me forward, but my claws are doing me proud right now. As I have the thought, though, I feel a ripple under his skin, and he shifts below me and drops to the ground in human form. My weight follows him down, but he tosses me sideways, and I shit to match him, shoving the thought of being completely naked to the very back of my mind so it can't distract me. He runs at me and drops low, shoving his shoulder into my hips and lifting me off the ground. We are both so sweaty at this point, he can't get a good hold on me, and I go up and over his shoulder, whipping my arm over his shoulder and putting him in a headlock. My height gives me an advantage since he has to bend backward almost in half in this position. Time. Another trainer shouts. I let go of Warrior Nicholas and step back. My friends are clapping and laughing behind me. Here. A very large shirt is thrust in front of me. I look over to see Wyatt. Thank you. I mumble through the shirt while I pull it on. I figured this would be easier than trying to get back in your teeny tiny stuff, just to have to shift again. That's what a fight should look like. Nicholas shouts, still breathing heavily from the fight. She didn't just do the bare minimum and stay out of range. You will almost never find a fight like that. She found opportunities to go on the offensive and take control of the fight instead of waiting for things to happen. She used her size to her advantage, was quick to observe my movements, and learned throughout the fight. She has clearly seen a lot. Experience makes us wiser and better, not age. Many of you would do well to remember that. He stepped over to the trainer, who was keeping time, and grabbed a water and a towel before turning back to the group and dividing us up into pairs. I am pulled over to Warrior Assistant. When can I train with the group? This seems like a punishment now. Did I do something wrong that you keep separating me from them? I look at him, needing answers. They brought me here. I didn't request it. I was perfectly fine waiting until I was old enough. But now something feels off, like they are regretting bringing me here, but can't send me away either. So they are just tolerating me, waiting to figure out what to do with me. Not punishment, just acclimating, he says cryptically. Seriously? That's the best you could come up with. I can handle the truth. If you don't think I'm ready, just say so. I know you don't want to send me back to my pack, and I'm not sure I want to be there right now anyway. But I could just do school here. I don't have to be in training if you all have decided you don't want me here, or I'm not ready, or whatever. I try to keep the hurt out of my voice, but I don't think I did a very good job. I've only been here a couple days, but this feels right. Even with Audrina breathing her clear dislike down my neck every possible chance, this is where I'm supposed to be. The old sting of not being wanted or good enough slices through my heart, though. I wanted to come here to get away from that. I have been working so hard the last year on being accepted for me. The guys in Sierra really helped too. Being seen and wanted felt good, and now the idea of going back to being the girl that was just kept for image's sake, but not really wanted or needed around chaffed. It's not that we think you are not ready, and we are not actually acclimating you. We are acclimating the rest of the warriors. You are a force, little one, and make an impression wherever you go. Your intelligence, fighting skills, and general demeanor are well above your age. But you are still very young in some ways, and I don't want to interfere with experiences that you, as a teenager, are supposed to have either. You have seen the extreme reactions people have around you. The negative interactions have not gone unnoticed by the trainers, but we will not step in unless you request it. We know not everyone will get along here. We want you all to handle your own business. But I will not tolerate you letting it get as far as you did back in your pack. They have all seen you fight now, and they have seen your scars and injuries that are still on the mend. They know you've seen real battle and dealt with real trauma. Some may outright ask, and others will beat around the bush to find out what happened. They are trainees as well, and have just as much to learn as you do. But there are also things that you have trained regularly, that they have never been taught. So, until I see fit, you train with me. Understood? Yes, sir. We train for the rest of the day. Sometimes in human form, sometimes as wolves. I am becoming more comfortable with being around all of these naked people. Not like I really have a choice. I think I am the only one here that hasn't been given a warrior brand yet, so the trainers are forced to shift so I can be given instructions. I kind of feel bad to being an inconvenience, but Warrior Occitan and Alpha Reggie won't let me have it yet, so I really don't have any control over that. By the time we are done, everyone is covered in a thick layer of dirt and sweat. It's kind of gross, but I feel very satisfied and thoroughly tired. It feels so good to train hard and with people who are at my level. I am learning from them, not just teaching. I can't wait for school tomorrow so I can tell Sierra all about it. Dinner was uneventful, thank the goddess. I'm not sure if it's because of my session with Warrior Nicholas, or if everyone is tired from the hours of shifting and fighting. But I won't complain either way. When you are ready, I really want to hear the story behind the scars on your back. That's not something that just happens, and you ignore. I am actually curious if you are so good because of the scars, or if you got the scars because you are so good. Lillian muses like this is the most normal dinner conversation ever. I wake up feeling just a bit lighter, and I want to talk to Sierra about what Lillian said at dinner. I've never actually talked about my scars to anyone or what they could possibly mean. I race to get ready and head down to the kitchen to grab a snack from Stella. I'm actually excited for school, which is a first. I normally would take training over sitting in a classroom any day, but I really want to see her. It feels like forever, and I need to talk to someone about anything other than training, but especially about yesterday and everything with Audrina. I skip the golf cart and just walk to the school. I left with plenty of time, not wanting to run into Audrina in the morning. School gave me almost an entire day without her, and I would take advantage of that wholeheartedly. I walk up to the old building, still in awe of the structure, head in and toward my locker. Before I can even finish getting my things together, Sierra runs up behind me and hugs me around the neck. Man, I miss seeing you every day. There has got to be a way that I can see you more often. This is terrible. I am allowed to have people over to study. I just have to get the days and times cleared first, but that would be great though. I turn and hug her back. And I have news for you. I gave her the quick version of Luna Ann's letter and told her I would send her pictures of all the dresses I tried on so she could help me choose. We debated whether I would see Xander at the dress fitting or not, since all of the guys were supposed to be at training. She said she hasn't heard from Sam since I was released from the hospital, and the Luna Queen let her call the guys and let them know that I was okay. That is my only reservation about being here, the isolation from my friends. Even though I would have been kept from them anyway while they were training, theirs only lasted through the end of the summer. Mine was going to be years. I wonder if you could write to them, Sierra muses as we reach her classroom. At the very least, you should be able to write to your brother. That way you could check in. I'm sure they miss you too and are worried. You had just barely started talking to them again when you were attacked. Don't remind me. I feel terrible about the way I treated them, and then we were all just separated. Don't you feel bad about that? They deserved it, and karma decided to give them a real kick when you were attacked, and then whisked away in the middle of the night. None of us even got to see you. You were just gone. Really? I don't remember any of that. I remember the beating loud and clear, and then I woke up in the Royal Pack Hospital. Nothing in between. Osiston had to tell me how long I was unconscious. Your parents did a ton of tests on me, but wouldn't really say what they were doing or why. I really should talk to them about what they were looking for. They didn't say anything to me. It was all really quiet, actually, now that you say something. But we aren't talking about that right now. Tell me more about your meeting with the Luna Queen. What do you think she will have for you? We spent the rest of lunch talking about dresses and what happens at the conference. I could care less about dresses and was trying to formulate a plan to get Sierra to this dress fitting with me. Her and Luna Ann could go nuts, and I would just stand there like their life-sized Barbie doll. I also wanted to just hang out with my friend. We aren't in any classes together, and I just see her in passing. I bet Luna Ann would be all right with it, though. I just don't know how to reach out to her. Can I just write a letter and hand it to someone? That seems weird, but probably my best bet. I'll have to remember to ask Nicholas today when I get back to the bunkhouse. She should put you in burgundy. I am pulled out of my thoughts back to Sierra's dress musings. Why burgundy? Jewel tones are your friend, girl? Sierra's friend Renee says, as if that should be common knowledge. I guess stuff like that is to them. You could actually get away with wearing just about any color. Your blonde hair picks up every tone and you are so tan. I'm jealous, by the way. Every color would just be highlighted. I can't believe you get to escort Alpha Prince Xander. I heard he has refused to take a date to any function for like the last 3 years. Molly chimes in. I have learned that she is good for accurate gossip. She loves the drama, but does her homework and digs down to the root of all the things being spread around. It doesn't hurt that her doll face just invites you in, and she genuinely listens to everything people say to her. How did you get so lucky? Not sure, really. We are friends, and I'm here in the pack now, so it would be convenient. I'm also a warrior, so it's an added layer of protection for him, since he is starting to train and learn the Alpha King's role. I'm sure there are plenty of vipers out there trying to get his attention, or force a chosen mate connection. It's kind of sad, really. He doesn't always know who his real friends are and who just wants to be near him because of his title. And you just want to be his friend? Renee asks, skeptical. Of course. I have never been the boy crazy type, so anyone who isn't my mate really doesn't interest me like that. Are you kidding? Have you seen that boy, man? He is huge and drop-dead gorgeous. Are you telling me you have never thought about what it would be like to be with him? Molly sputters. No, not really. I mean, he is very handsome. Anyone with eyeballs can see that. He is actually fun to talk to and just hang out with, though. I have had the opportunity to do that, but I don't think I could be his mate. She would have to be someone impressive to handle all the different packs in their needs and wants. The Luna Queen's job is so hard, I don't think I would be cut out for that. So nothing else really matters, right? You are far better than I ever could be. If he gave me the chance, I would jump him in a heartbeat and not regret a second. Renee has us all laughing now, and we finish the rest of lunch speculating on all things Prince Xander. It has been so long since I have felt this light and free of worry or anxiety. I am glad that Alpha Reggie made me continue with school. Nicholas was right. There are just teenage things I need to experience before I commit to adulthood. I walk back to the bunkhouse with a plan to ask Osiston if I can have regular study time with Sierra on the weekends. I don't know what training looks like, but I have to have some time set aside to get the work done if they want me to actually finish school. I really like my classes in this fast tracks they have me on. Battle strategies has got to be my favorite. I have never had better conversations with teachers before, and so far all of them encourage different ideas and perspectives. I spend more time debating the validity of battles and wars in our history than I do paperwork, and I feel like I retain so much more of the information having to dive deep like this. We also talk about what we would do to protect our pack as a warrior in each given situation, or how we would change a strategy to make it more effective. The kids in my classes are mostly juniors and seniors, and they are really smart. They don't treat me like a little kid, even though I am 3 years younger than some of them. They trust the judgment of the people who placed me here and just accept it. It's the craziest concept I have ever encountered. Dinner was uneventful. Thank the goddess, and Lillian fully agrees with Sierra and Renee's thoughts on burgundy dresses. They all really need to meet. The boys chose to ignore us. Dressing up was probably as high on their priority list as it was mine. I have no choice, though. If the Luna Queen asked me to wear a paper sack, that's what I would do. Audrina didn't bother me during training Friday. In fact, she acted like I was not even there, which made a few of the team challenges difficult, and we lost all of them. Not by much, but we lost, which I'm coming to understand is something that rarely happens. She is taking whatever grudge too far, and I have no idea what I can do about it, since I have no idea what I did to her. Maybe it is the hero worship thing she has for Warrior Osiston, but the other trainers talk to me just as much as he does, since I am still in observation period, according to them. I still don't know what they could be observing on day 3. We are doing similar things each day. There isn't much more to observe. But I do all of the team training now, so I'm lost as to what I can do to make the team dynamic better. If it was just her and me, I wouldn't give a shit. But this is affecting the whole team, and at some point they are going to retaliate on her or me, or both of us, and I don't want to be part of that responsibility. I will just add that to the list of things I need to ask about when I finally get a chance to talk to Warrior Osiston. I haven't actually seen him all day today, but working with warriors, it's like a revolving door of assignments. So who knows? Maybe he's working for the Alpha King. Thinking that makes me feel stupid for wanting to sit and gossip with the guy. There is no way he wants to chit-chat with a 15-year-old girl about school and the drama of a teammate not liking her. Now I don't want to say anything, but I was also specifically told to speak up about things happening to me. What the hell am I supposed to do? It's been a long time since I had a terrible sleep, especially with the way that we train. I am usually out like a light as soon as my head touches the pillow and a little groggy in the morning, while I'm still getting used to the schedule. I really hope I acclimate a little faster. This sleep deprivation feeling is terrible. But I can't stop thinking about what to do about Audrina and her behavior towards me and meeting with Luna Ann. I'm not nervous about going to the Royal Pack House. Not really. Luna Ann is great. But I also don't want to do or say anything to embarrass her either. I was not brought up to do all of the political schmoozing. That was my brother's job as the next beta. What if there are other people there that I have to impress? Or if this is some kind of test to see if I can blend in while protecting the Luna Queen? The thoughts just kept spinning in my head and made it hard to get to sleep and then stay asleep. When I finally got out of bed, I changed quickly and went downstairs to try and grab an early breakfast. I didn't establish Saturdays with Stella and Jack, but I figured checking it out wouldn't be a terrible thing. When I walk into the canteen, a couple other people are here. No one has food yet. But clearly, they either just came off a shift or are getting ready to head out and want to be first to get food. No sooner did I think of it than the kitchen omegas started coming out with trays on trays of food to set on the buffet. We get a late start on Saturdays and Sundays because the trainers aren't complete barbarians. We get to start at 7 a.m. Breakfast is served at 5:30 to give us a little more time to eat and digest before we start. It was so generous of the trainers, I think sarcastically, and laugh a little to myself before I remember that this is why we are all here, to train. The rest of these warriors have no other responsibilities, so I guess it makes sense. They need to keep warriors busy, otherwise they get into and cause trouble. I should know. I spent the last year with the guys. That thought makes me smile too. I grab a plate and start eating. Luna Ann's note said that a car would be by to pick me up, but no time or other direction was given. It did say I would have breakfast, but I don't want to impose and I don't know what she'll have. I don't want to be rude and scarf down all of her food. Warrior training has definitely increased my appetite. Oliver would be proud of me. My heart clenches a bit thinking about him. I can't wish away the fight or what was said. I said it and I meant it. But things went so wrong before we could work through anything and come to some kind of understanding. He took his role as my protector so seriously, and even furious with my decision to leave, he still watched over me and made sure I had what I needed, even from a distance. I have to get a message to them, even if they couldn't respond. I would feel better knowing I, at the very least, tried reaching out and letting them know I'm okay. Maybe Luna Ann can help me get a message to them, or even Xander. Around 7:30, the same guy in a fancy gray suit came into the common room, where I took up residence with a book, trying to get some school reading done, since my weekend time was going to be cut short. "Are you ready, Miss Skylar?" "Yes." "Lead the way, I'm sorry. I don't know your name." "You can call me Barty, Miss Skylar." "Thank you, Barty. You don't have to call me Miss. I don't have any kind of title. Any friend of the Luna deserves a title, Miss Skylar." He winks at me as we walk out the door where a very fancy black car sits waiting. It's not a limo, but not your standard-sized car either. I'm sure the Luna Queen, Alpha King, and Xander could all ride comfortably in the back. Barty opens the door for me and I slide into the soft gray leather seats. I could easily take a nap here. Once I am settled and stop gawking at the inside of the car, Barty slides in next to me, his phone up to his ear, letting someone know we are on the way. Interesting. Why do you use a phone, Barty? Is it too far to MindLink? Actually, I can't MindLink any longer. When my mate passed away, my wolf could not handle the separation and he got sick. I barely survived the loss of him. The Luna Queen and Alpha King have been very generous to me, and I work as a kind of assistant to the Luna Queen. So, I do communicate like a human, but I am still as strong as I was when I had my wolf. So don't get any ideas. He smiles and winks again. I've heard a lot about you and your skills. You will be an asset to whichever pack you are a part of. Whichever pack? Do you think I won't go home then? That my mate is not in my pack? I think you are very special based on the way the royal family describes you, and any wolf would be lucky to be mated with you. I just nod my head. There really isn't a response to that. I'm sorry about your mate. I have never heard of someone losing their wolf and surviving. How did that work? It was actually Doc Gannon who figured it out. His research and experimentation extends very far and wide. He and his wife were able to help me through the transition. It was the most painful experience I have ever had, including losing my mate. Wow. Doc Gannon and Doc Sylvia are my best friend's parents. They helped me recover when I got here. I froze for a second. I never openly share any story having to do with my trauma from Kaylee. Yeah, my arrival was not under the best circumstances. The docs were great, though. I got back to training pretty quickly with their help. Just so you know, I am privy to lots of information. It comes with the job. I'm aware of your situation here. I kept the Luna Queen updated when she couldn't visit you. Oh, man. Thank you, I guess, for keeping tabs on me. I just feel awkward now. I don't really know what to say. He has seen me at my weakest. Not something I want anyone seeing. Hey, don't do that. You are not weak. Are you a mind reader too? It's my job to anticipate what the Luna Queen needs, which has me interacting with a lot of different people, including warriors. You all have a look when you feel inadequate in some way. He gives me a look like when Alpha Lucas is trying to get a point across without giving a direct answer. I have seen warriors come back looking far worse than you from battle. It is just part of the dynamic here. I nod and try to change the subject. How old is the royal pack? Some of the buildings look like they grew out of the mountain. We spend the next 30 minutes talking about all the different histories of the royal pack that Barty knew of. It was really fascinating. Alpha Reggie's great-great-grandfather was the first Alpha King of the royal pack, which doesn't sound like that long ago, but as wolves, we age more slowly than humans. So many kings, who didn't die in battle, made it to close to 100 before they even considered retiring. It sounds like they were all well-loved and respected kings too, meaning Xander has some big shoes to fill. So, since you are so well-informed, what is my role exactly? Everyone at the warrior camp seems very confused that I would be invited to protect Prince Xander, but I can't think of any other reason anyone would want me there. Well, first, it is rare for the Alpha Prince to make friends as fast as he did in your pack. He talked of nothing but the couple of days he spent with you and all of your friends. It was a welcome break from all of the parading around he usually does. Second, you are a gorgeous female that any guy would probably cut his left arm off to have the chance to call his date for the evening. Third, you can handle yourself. These pompous assholes seem to think that because they have been elected as an elder, they are entitled to a piece of the royal family, among other luxuries. Those with daughters will not appreciate the Alpha Prince having you on his arm all night, and that is where the prince will keep you. You are a trusted friend, so he might actually enjoy himself. You can help protect him as a warrior, but also as a woman, blocking unwanted advances. Politics sound awful. I'm kind of glad my brother, Cameron, and Dakota have to deal with all of that and not me. We both laugh. Before I can ask any more, we pull up to the castle I saw from a distance on the hospital drive, and my jaw hits the floor. The castle is a whitewashed-looking stone that extends from the side of the mountain. Another structure that looks as if it just grew out of the side of the mountain. The circular drive pulls up to a set of double doors made of thick, dark wood with black metal accents and handles. This seems to be a theme on all of the older buildings I have seen on the territory. There is nothing else but the entrance doors on this lever of the castle. Above that is a balcony with a stone railing, maybe for greeting guests who are really important. The wall of glass behind the balcony is either tinted to not be able to see in, or the glare is just too strong for me to see anything in the morning light. From here, the castle extends left and right, with many windows and doors attached to various outdoor stone staircases. Going up there are at least 5 levels, but it's kind of hard to count since they stagger upward toward the sky, several ending in tall turrets and towers. This way, Miss Skylar. I will let the Alpha Prince give you the grand tour. He smiles at me from a bent position at the door of the car. I didn't even realize I had stopped midway of getting out. Wait, Xander is here? I thought he was at training. He, like you, has to few other responsibilities. So he is missing training too. We walk inside to a grand entrance, and I am immediately wrapped in a hug. I can't see anything around the soft material covering my whole head, burying my face in a chest. You have no idea how good it is to see you. I thought we were all going to go crazy not being able to check in or see you at all this summer. Xander releases me from the stranglehold he has on me and holds me out at arm's distance, giving me a once-over, clearly checking for lasting damage. Xander, I'm okay. I pat his arm awkwardly, his tight grip on my shoulders making it difficult to do anything. I promised Doc Sylvia and Doc Gannon patched me up and cleared me for training. He doesn't say anything. He just grabs my hand and drags me off without a word to anyone around us. I guess he's my tour guide now. We traipse through the main halfway that could easily fit hundreds of people, like a banquet hall, but got no better look at it before he had me flying up the grand set of stairs to the balcony overlook. Just when I thought he was going to stop and show me something exciting, he turned another corner and started down a hallway that was dimmer than the entryway. We flew past doors and I thanked the goddess for my endurance. No mere mortal would have been able to keep up with his pace. Where are we going, Xander? Are you trying to rip my arm off? I went for a joke to see if I could get him to respond. Nothing. We just kept moving. Like he was trying to get away from someone, he dodged in and out of hallways and doorways, up stairways, and every other kind of ways you could think of in the humongous maze. We finally came to a stop in a little alcove in who knows what part of the castle. Then he spins me around and grabs my shoulders again. Who hurt you, Skylar? We want to know now. He looked a little deranged at the moment. Excuse you. I shrugged him off. Who is we? And what makes you think I will answer to a demand like that? No friend asks a question like that. You have been hanging around Cameron, Dakota, and Oliver a little too long, I think. I'm angry now. I was so excited to see my friend, and the first thing he thought to ask me is who attacked me over a month ago. He's just as bad as the guys. I shake out of his grasp and turn to the window, wrapping my arms around myself to stifle the chill that just ran through me. It felt like the same wall of separation that was between me and the guys before I left, shot up between Xander and I at that moment. I don't want to do this here. I'm a new me. I'm away from all of that for just a little while. I want to pretend that the whole situation doesn't exist. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath to calm my nerves and bring back my patience. He has been with the guys this whole time. I'm sure they have asked about me, or if he can get any info on me from his parents. I don't want to be checked up on for my brother and his friends' benefits. I want someone to check in on me because they want to see me. Hey, don't be like that. We have all been terrified and no one would tell us anything but that you were alive. You have no idea how excited we all were to hear that you were going to be here today. All the guys tried to get a pass, but, well, your title got you special privileges. I supplied his answer without looking at him. He walked over in front of me and just shrugged. It has its advantages sometimes. I really am glad to see you, though. And I really appreciate you doing this for me. You have no idea what some of these vipers can be like. If they set their fangs, they don't let go the whole night, no matter what I do. Usually my parents can get me away from them, but it takes no time for another to latch on. The elders have this wild idea about choosing my mate for me, which is ridiculous to even entertain the idea of a chosen mate. let alone someone I don't even get to choose. He enunciated the last part. So, I am your arm candy for the evening then? I ask, trying to lighten the mood and move on from my attack. Should I be warned of anyone in particular? There are several, but right now we seem to have a lot of available females that are directly related to the elders, like daughters, nieces, and granddaughters. He rolls his eyes. Many of them have no type of rank. And before you yell at me about the rank thing, he holds his hands up in surrender. I mean, no title, obviously, but also no other skills, like at all. Many of them seem to have been schooled in how to look good standing by me, and that's all. No training physically, politically, or as a humanitarian. They literally want to stand next to me and pose for photos. Manners are a big thing, and I don't even want to know what that training looks like. But they aren't intelligent enough to hold a conversation. So you are here for several reasons. He has steered us down another hallway as he explains. You can obviously protect yourself and me discreetly. He rolls his eyes like this is unnecessary, but I see the appeal immediately. You can engage with other alphas and Lunas present, again setting a good example. You can also defend yourself against the almost certain social attack of these handful of women who have been set upon me. And to top it off, you are my friend and will greatly increase my personal evening experience, rather than just having any warrior with me. Before I can respond, though, we stop at a door. This is my mother's office. She will be anxious to see you too. Thank you for doing this. I mean it, you are a lifesaver. He leans down and kisses me on the cheek, then knocks on the door. Before I can say anything, it opens and I'm draped in another cloth-filled hug. I giggle a little into Luna Ann's arms. It's good to see you too. I mumble awkwardly into her very soft jacket. Oh, sweet girl. You have no idea how hard it has been to stay away, but Reggie said it would be worse for you if I came in and showed any type of favoritism toward you. This has been torture, and Warrior Brogan and Warrior Nicholas won't say anything about your training either. I don't know if that is my husband's doing to force me to separate, or if those boys really do take their warrior code that far. She's like a tornado walking around the room, waving her hands and talking. I've never seen her this animated, and it must show on my face. Oh, stop looking at me like that. I can be myself here. I don't have to worry about who's listening or looking. I don't have to be poised and dutiful like the elders believe a good queen should. She used air quotes. I'm starting to get the feeling this assignment to Xander is going to be way less fun than I anticipated. Xander mentioned me basically cock-blocking some of the potential chosen mates they have lined up for him. I'm about to be a target, aren't I? You're not far off. She chuckles. Come sit. We'll eat, and I will explain a little before we get the fun stuff started. She pulls me over to a table laid out with a ton of food. Meats, cheeses, fruits, and vegetables of every variety were at my fingertips. I could feel my mouth watering at the sight. Well, she at least knew I would be hungry training the way that I did. How much do you know about the Luna Queen's role in this whole situation? Not much, really. Like any other Luna, but somehow you have a connection to the moon goddess. I don't think I've heard anything else that is unique to being the Luna Queen. You're right. I do have a connection to the moon goddess. My eyes went wide. Can you just have conversations with her? Or how does that even work? I have so many questions, I blurted, leaving the bite I was about to take hanging in the air and thinking of all the things I would want to know having that kind of access. Hold on. It's not that easy. She giggles at my excitement. I can talk to her, or rather make requests to talk to her. She's a bit busy. Luna Ann winks at me. But mostly, she comes to me with things that I need to know, or things that need immediate intervention. She mostly lets us handle ourselves, but occasionally she needs our help. She told me about you, actually. It was the reason we chose to visit your pack. Wait, what? What do I have to do with anything? I was afraid I had done something so bad that I needed to be watched. Relax, child. You didn't do anything wrong, but the people who could help you had their hands tied, and that is all that I am allowed to say about your situation. The moon goddess knows you well and has special plans for you. We needed to get you out of your pack before anything else escalated. My jaw was on the floor, and I'm sure the look on my face was hilarious. I wonder if the moon goddess told her about all the things I went through with Kaylee. I wonder if she knows who attacked me in the locker room after training. Close your mouth. You look like a fish. Don't be surprised when people take notice of you. You work hard for it. It's okay to be seen for the amazing things that you do. I don't know how to respond to that. I literally have no words. I mumbled at her, and she just laughed again. So say nothing and just listen. You need to be trained for whatever is coming. Throg King is trying his best to take over. He wants total control over all of the territories, and our is the biggest in our region, so he's starting here. There have been smaller attacks going on for a while, and that usually isn't cause for alarm. Packs have feuds and disputes all the time that lead to fighting before it's resolved. But many reports that we are getting are of attacks that seem to be unprovoked, and upon further inspection is not the work of a neighboring pack, but an outside group. This is what most of our warriors are researching and gathering information on for us when they go outside the territory. What does all of this have to do with me, though? I'm only 15, barely old enough to be a warrior, let alone make any kind of impact. That's where you're wrong. You are so much more, and you started blooming so early, no one knew what to do with you. So the goddess let you keep yourself hidden until the time was right to reveal your talents. When she thought you were ready, she came to me and we brought the trials to you. You have no idea what kind of impact you had at those trials, do you? I just shook my head. This was so much information and nothing I expected. Well, you confirmed what your Alpha and Luna have suspected for a while. You came out, just this tiny little thing, amongst all of these warriors who have probably trained for longer than you have been alive, and took on everyone and won. No contest, no bias, nothing but you and your instinct to survive. Then you did it again with your wolf, who you got so early. That's when Reg and I knew you were special. He has some theories and wants to see you today before you go. But we are done talking about your amazing trial run. Let's get your armor for the battle that is the Elders' Conference. She claps her hands and Omegas come from all over moving trays and rearranging the room. Soon the big food is gone, replaced with little snacks, and 3 racks of dresses have been set up with a privacy wall for changing. A full-length gilded mirror that looks like it weighs a ton, and a pedestal just like the one in the dress shop Sierra dragged me to with the guys. With that thought, my heart squeezes a bit. I wish I could have said goodbye to them all and hugged them, and just gotten that closure instead of being ripped away unconscious. What has that look on your face? Luna Ann asked. This just reminds me of my birthday when Sierra dragged me to a dress shop and forced me into anything and everything, while my brother and his friends just waited and watched. I looked down. It was silly when I said it out loud like that. I'm a warrior. I can't be sentimental. That kind of shesh was what would get me killed. I shook the thought from my head and looked back at her, and she was smiling. I thought you may want something familiar and a second opinion. Just then the door burst open and wild brunette hair was flying at me. I told you that you will never wardrobe shop without me ever again. Sierra, I squeal. I am so glad to see you. I got to see Xander too. Did he catch you on the way in? Nope. You are the only one special enough to get the prince to greet you at the door. She laughs at me. Now, let's get this party started, shall we? Luna Queen Anne, you have amazing taste. I'm not worried at all. But I hear there are some people we need to impress, so the dress has to be perfect. She is flailing her arms dramatically as she talks. And just like that, I was swept up in all kinds of material. Lengths, cuts, styles of dress you can imagine. I let Sierra and Luna Ann have their way with me, and we giggled and laughed the hours away. We finally settled on this light blue dress that was so pale it was almost white. The color brought out my eyes and my tan from training outside. It was a silky, flowy material, but not shiny. The waist was form-fitting and accentuated all the curves I was developing from proper food to go along with my heavy training schedule. The top was a sweetheart cut with a deep V cut down the middle to my belly button. The V all the way up to my clavicle was covered in different-sized beads and crystals over a skin-toned mesh material. There were little peaks of skin through the beading, but nothing that could be viewed as scandalous or make me uncomfortable. The beading went up over my shoulders, giving me a sleeveless look, and across the top part of my back where it was attached. The beading flowed down my sides and along the seam at my low back, bringing it all together and leaving the majority of my back bare. There was a slit up the front of my left leg, but hidden within the soft pleats of the fabric, so it could only be seen when I walked. It went all the way to the top of my thigh, which made me a bit nervous, but Sierra assured me was exactly right. We chose thin, strappy silver shoes to match, and Luna Ann said she would have jewelry and hair, and makeup taken care of for me as well. Just as we were getting settled into a late lunch, there was a knock at the door. "Is everyone decent before I enter?" Alpha Reggie's deep, baritone voice called out from the crack in the door. "I already told you we were done and cleaned up, dear. Come on in." "Silly man." She muttered the last part under her breath. "Hey now, no making fun of the old man. I don't have daughters, and I don't know the protocol for entering the room after a clothing session." His cheeks were a little pink as he said this, walking up next to his mate. He was just as cute as Alpha Lucas in dad mode. He kissed her on the top of the head and then looked at me. "I was wondering if I could steal you away for a bit before you go." I nodded. What else was I going to do? If the king wants to see you, it's not exactly a request. I wiped my face and thanked Luna Ann. I turned to Sierra and told her I still had to ask about study times at the bunkhouse, but I would let her know Tuesday at school, then followed Alpha Reggie out. Once the door was closed, we took a right and headed down a long hallway, walking in silence for a very long time. We made it to a large set of glass doors that looked over a patio. A couple of Omegas I hadn't even noticed opened the doors for us, and we continued outside. This patio wasn't just a patio. It was a huge landing that spanned the whole length of this side of the castle. To my left, it extended to the rocky surface of the mountain the castle was built into. And to my right, it curved around in a large arc, almost disappearing to the front of the castle. Still, we kept walking. Alpha Reggie led me to a set of stairs that was so well designed, you wouldn't notice them unless you walked over here to look over the railing. We descended to the lawn that was lush and green and so well maintained. And still, we kept walking. I was getting nervous. He hadn't said anything to me since we left Luna Ann, and we have been together for almost 10 minutes. I think I could see our destination now, though. In front of us is a hedge, similar to what Luna Ava has in her backyard at home. Having a maze in your yard must be an alpha thing. My suspicions were confirmed when we headed straight towards it and took a quick right into the large, squared-off bushes. Alpha Reggie was tall enough to see over the top of the hedgerow, but my height made that impossible unless I jumped, which was not happening in front of the Alpha King. Sorry for all of the secrecy, but I never really know who is listening. These hedges are grown in a way that the wolfsbane plant is grafted into it, so it muffles the sounds of our voices, even for me with the best hearing as the Alpha King. We cannot be overheard here. I thought I was in trouble. That is so cool, though, who thought of grafting the plants together. I'm pretty sure you can guess the crazy genius behind this. He smiles over at me. Doc Gannon and Doc Sylvia are scary sometimes. I laugh back to him. I believe on one of their expeditions they found something similar and brought it back here. It's almost better than the soundproofing we have in the conference rooms, and it's hard to place listening devices here, because the maze is so big and people tend to naturally wander while they talk. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a bit nervous, now that I know you brought me to basically a soundproof remote location on your grounds. Am I in trouble? He chuckles a bit under his breath. No, child, you are not in trouble, but I didn't want anyone listening in on our conversation. I have a few questions for you, and then I think I have some answers too. Okay, shoot. I obviously know your father. He was born in your pack and we have his lineage on record. But what do you know of your mother? My heart seized and I stopped walking. I just stood there and stared at him. Of all the wounds to rip open, this is not the one I expected. I could feel the tears pool behind my eyes, but I was not going to cry. I am a warrior. I had to remain in control of my emotion. I don't know anything about her, actually. I was never allowed to know or to ask. I took a deep, shuddering breath and started moving forward, hoping to move past this and onto another topic. I was not so lucky. This has a lot to do with your mother, but the story starts further back. I think it's time you know where you come from, little one. I just look at him confused. I'm just a beta's daughter and second-born. There really isn't much more to it than that. There's actually a whole lot more where you are concerned. Do you remember all of the extra testing and blood samples the docs took from you while you were recovering? I nodded. I had my theories then, just based on all of your natural physical skills and leadership qualities. Everything that I observed during my time at your trials. What do you mean, me trials? Those were for everyone. I had to get permission to participate. I needed a reason to test your skills without you knowing what was happening. I wanted your natural reactions to various situations. Osistin, Nicholas, and I came up with the trials to be able to put you in the situations we needed, while simultaneously testing other warrior candidates. Side note, now that we have done it that way and seen the quality we got in this round, we will probably continue to run trials like that from now on, so thank you for that. He winked at me. I knew Alpha Lucas wasn't exaggerating your skills after the first day. But the second day, in your wolf form, when you took out Xander without even breaking a sweat, I knew you were who I have been looking for a very, very long time. Even though he is not a full Alpha King yet, Xander should have been able to hold you off. The only people who can truly best him have royal Alpha blood. Even Osistin struggles in a match with him. What saves Osistin usually is experience and patience and his royal blood. Wait, what are you saying? I don't understand. Are you suggesting I have royal Alpha blood? I'm not suggesting it. I take a deep breath and let it out slowly. I'm confirming it. I choke on the breath I was letting out. How is that possible? I have no relations attached to the royal line, I ask, through my coughs. It is completely possible and took me some time to confirm, and I didn't want to give you any false information before. But I have confirmed without a doubt that you are my second cousin's granddaughter. For the ease of my mind, though, I'm not doing all the second, third, twice removed crap. You are my niece for all intents and purposes, and Xander's cousin. My eyes bug out of my head, and I think I forgot how to breathe. I am only still walking on autopilot, following Alpha Reggie around the maze. That makes Mateo your nephew, naturally, but in the royal bloodline, it's the firstborn female that is special. My heart rate has skyrocketed, and it feels like my heart is trying to physically leave my chest. Can he actually tell me something about my mom? No one, not even Luna Ava, has ever told me anything about my mom out of fear of my dad's reaction. The only thing I have ever heard is that I look exactly like her, and my brother has her hair color too. Nothing more than that. Come here. This may be better digested sitting down. He leads us over to a small, ornate concrete bench. Where did this thing even come from? I was so distracted by his information, I stopped observing my surroundings. I couldn't let that be a thing. I mentally shook myself and took a look around as he led me over to sit down. We seemed to have come into the center of the maze with at least 6 exit points. The hedge size didn't seem to change here, but there were little manicured areas with flowers and shepherd's hooks holding small wind chimes, crystals catching the light, or other little wind catchers, giving a whimsical fairy tale vibe to the place. The concrete benches were set in a circle surrounding the clearing. I could see my 6-year-old self sitting here with Mary having a tea party and giggling the day away. I thought you might like this place. My mother and my aunt spent a lot of time here. He smiled at me. Let me start at the beginning, but jump in with any questions you have. It will help you to understand if you have the whole of our lineage as far back as we can trace it. I nodded, vibrating with the idea that I was going to hear about my mom and a part of my family I didn't even know existed. I gasped and sat up straight. Does Xander know that we are cousins, or I'm family, or whatever is going on here? Yes, he knows. So does Anne and Alpha Lucas and Luna Ava. But no one beyond that knows, and I want to keep it that way for a little while. You'll understand why when I finish my story. He tells me softly, watching my face fall. I wanted to run and tell Sierra and we could process the whole thing together. But something in his voice made me understand there is a vital reason for the secrecy. Now I just had to be patient enough to hear it. Okay, let me hear it. How do I fit into your world? He chuckles, takes a deep breath, and begins. When the moon goddess decided our population on Earth was getting too vast for her to manage on her own, she chose alphas to rule areas. The idea was that we were all responsible together for the packs as a whole. She knew with our human half came certain complications and flaws, so she also instilled our Lunas with the ability to communicate with her and to help control the possessive and aggressive natures of the alpha males. It was a way to have checks and balances. No alpha king could rule properly without his goddess-given mate, and we were all evenly matched, so it was less likely for us to go to war with another kingdom. Over time we evolved and got better for the most part. I can only speak to my line, so this may not be accurate for all, but my great-great-grandfather noticed that the firstborn females had special abilities. Things like the ability to heal injuries while in wolf form. Some had additional strength or speed, even by royal-blooded standards. Others had power over the mind and could control others differently than what an alpha aura would do. Things like that. He also discovered that every generation alternated between having a pure black or pure white wolf. I gasped again. My wolf and I had been taking on all the information we were receiving, but the one thing we both locked on was the fact that she was pure black. You've caught on then? It's another reason I wanted you tested. It's rare that a wolf is one solid color. There are always other colors mixed in. But not our firstborn females. My great-great-grandfather began cataloging all the information he had learned about his family line before him. But your story starts with him. He had 2 sons, and like most alpha lines, the firstborn is the heir to the title. It is the way the goddess wants it, and the way we have done it for generations. With no one power-hungry or abusing the power, there seems to be no reason to change it. Until his second son decided he wanted to fight for the title. It had never been done in our history. I'm not fool enough to think other kingdoms haven't gone through this at some point in their history, but this was unique for us. I clapped my hand over my mouth, having a feeling I knew what was coming. The oldest son, my great-grandfather, agreed to a duel, half in human form and half in wolf form. He knew he was stronger than the second son, and that the second son let his emotions cloud his judgment in a fight. The second son wanted a show, an audience to watch his rise to power. This was actually how our warrior trails were born. The training grounds were filled with the entire pack there to watch. The duel happened and the second son lost, as predicted by my great-great-grandfather, and the oldest took the throne when it was time. The second son was bitter and hateful from the day he lost onward. He tried to instill that vengeful spite and idea of entitlement into his children. His son, Robert, also wanted to fight for the throne, but had no real claim to it since my great-grandfather had children. His daughter was special, though, and didn't want anything to do with her father and brother's efforts to take over the throne. She was a healer. In her wolf form, she was pure white, and her saliva could close and heal a wound in minutes. It made her very valuable to her father and brother in battle, and she was basically held captive. When she finally found her mate, they had no choice but to let her go. She had a daughter who turned out to have a pure black wolf, confirming my great-grandfather's findings, and she could manipulate thoughts and fight off her uncle and grandfather's alpha auras. I didn't find out until later that they were both experimented on. Her brother and father had also discovered how special our females were, and wanted to know why gifts were bestowed on them and not the males. Their bitterness and need for power consumed and corrupted their minds, and they thought they were being slighted by not having the Alpha King title and again by not having special abilities. I guess they tried infusing the female blood with their own, trying to gain the abilities. Rumor also has it that they dabbled in dark magic to try and gain powers as well. I don't know what happened to the two women. I only hope they weren't tortured to death. He looked sad at this, like he had something to do with their capture and mistreatment. So you have some bad family members. I'm sure everyone does. I shrug, trying to lighten his mood. So how does your great-grandfather's brother and his kid tie in with me? Like I said, they had no claim to the throne since my great-grandfather had kids, a son, Thomas, and a daughter, Catherine. His son was a Sistine, and my grandfather. His daughter would be your great-grandmother. He paused to let that sink in. Wait, Osistin? As in warrior Osistin, is your cousin and my uncle cousin or whatever? I feel like my brain is turning to mush with all the new information. I may need a map for the family tree we have going right now, and you have only told me about like 5 people. He chuckles. I promise there aren't too many more players to introduce you to, but understanding who's in the game may save your life in the future. I give a dry chuckle, but the serious look on his face tells me this is one of those things I really need to take in and understand. There are no jokes here. I took a deep breath and nodded, indicating he could go on. Thomas taught his son and daughter our history. Like the goddess instructed, he ruled fairly and encouraged his son and daughter to both pursue their strengths. But the animosity and hate were being perpetuated on the other side of the family tree. Robert eventually found his mate and had a son, Vincent, and together they have pursued deeper into our lineage than even I have. Any female with our bloodline is being captured and tortured for their special abilities. Another reason for finding you and bringing you here, but I will get to that in a minute. Thomas' sister, Catherine, did the same thing. She instilled in her kids to take care of our world, protect our people, especially with humans on the rise. She had 3 kids, a son and twin daughters. While Catherine, her mate, her kids and their mates were out training on the territory, there was an attack. They were all older and well-trained, but the attackers used all manner of weapons, including drugs like liquid wolfsbane, so even the special abilities they possessed amongst them didn't help. Everyone was killed except Claire, one of the twins. Her mate died that day, but rumor has it she was pregnant. She went into hiding. No one here had any record of it, but someone had to have helped her escape. I was able to finally track the elder down and follow some leads. She had a daughter named Sophia, who settled with her mate as the betas of the Blue Crescent Pack, and had you. He reached forward and wiped my cheek. I hadn't realized tears were falling down my face. You come from a very long line of fierce female warriors. Leaders who are hard-pressed to be taken down. I don't know much about Claire's time away from the royal pack. She used different names to keep her identity hidden for her safety, and the safety of her unborn pup. But I do know that she was heavily pursued by the bitter half of our family line. As I started really tracking her movements, I noticed a pattern of attacks that surrounded where she was rumored to be. Once I found that pattern, it got a little easier. I just wish I could have found her trail sooner. You may still have your mom, if I had. He hung his head like my mom's death was his fault. She died in childbirth. You could not have any control over that. I said to him, that is not entirely true, and many people would not want you to know this part of your story, but it's important. With all of the abilities that our firstborn females have, child-rearing can be dangerous for them. They actually cannot procreate with anyone other than their goddess-given mate. You don't want details, but the other half has tried. I shuddered at the implications there. They must be heavily watched when pregnant and in labor, and their wolves must be kept calm and under control. Not an easy task. I don't know a lot. There haven't been many females in generations. You are the firstborn I have actually met. But there is a lot of blood loss, and it can only be replaced by a blood relative. With your mother not knowing her history, she didn't know to be prepared. The blood your pack doctors were giving her didn't work, because it couldn't. That's why they couldn't save her. He hung his head again, rubbing his eyes like telling the story was taking a toll on him. I took a deep breath. There really was nothing he could do. My mother and grandmother were in hiding. I wonder if my grandmother survived childbirth on her own, and if she did, how? Questions for another day, but I would get those answers eventually. Right now, I need to comfort the king who seems to think he wronged me somehow. There was nothing you could do. They were in hiding because we, apparently, have crazy family members that seem to think dissecting us releases magical powers that they can pick up like in a video game. He huffed, but I saw a crack of a smile, so I went on. At least you found me now, and you can train me, and we can do whatever we need to fight the bad half of the family. We need a new name for them. That just sounds cartoonish. He finally laughed at me, breaking the tension. Speaking of fancy names and bad family members, we have a lead on all of the seemingly random attacks that have been going on in the kingdom. The attacks that we have been fending off is the work of the rogue king, as he is calling himself. I rolled my eyes, and Alpha Reggie smiled at me. I believe the attacks on packs in our kingdom are under his orders as well. I only recently got confirmation that the rogue king is Vincent's son. I don't even know his name. He has been attacking packs for years, taking on members willingly or by force, and taking almost as many prisoners, mostly female. Now I know why. He's searching for the special abilities from the Alpha bloodline. There also was a prediction that was made to my great-great-grandfather about one of our females possessing all of the special abilities and would make her mate the strongest alpha, strong enough to rival the Alpha King. She would be forged under fire, grow in battle, could tame any alpha without force. People would naturally turn to her as a leader. He looks over at me. What? That could be anybody. That could be Luna Ann. I've seen the way people jump to attention for her. I waggled my finger at him. The prediction also said she would be small but mighty, coming into her abilities before the age of 15. He raised his eyebrows at me. That only happened because I was whipped and left for dead. If my wolf hadn't come, I never would have healed, and even then it took 2 days. I said, feeling a little defeated at having to bring this up and explain again. I'm not special. Oh, no? I shook my head. Do you know why your scars are still there? The ones that had the silver put in them. I shook my head no. Any other wolf would have had blood poisoning with the amount used on you. They would have died long before being dumped in the woods. The amateur who did that to you will answer to me, by the way. He looked deadly for just a moment. Your body's ability to take silver and wolfsbane and keep it out of your bloodstream is unheard of. You saved yourself even before your wolf showed up. Your body seems to encapsulate the silver and wolfsbane at the smallest level. I cannot make it sound as smart as Doc Gannon does, but the gist is your body works like a duck's feathers do against water. They are completely waterproof. You seem to be poison-proof. Your scars have encapsulated the silver that was put on your body. But it was only so strong, so any time the scar was opened up, you would bleed as if it was fresh. The docs have removed all the silver, so that should no longer be a problem for you. But I have royal blood and am a firstborn female and all of that. That has to be why I'm not special. I know your dad has done a number on your confidence, but he's not the only person who has made you feel inferior, even though you know you are not. I see it in your eyes. The fight between knowing how strong you really are and what people have told you and conditioned you to believe. Speaking of my dad, does he know about all of this, I mean? The royal blood connection, my mom, all of it. I look up at him earnestly, completely avoiding his last statement. He has been made aware of the situation and my feelings on his treatment of you. He has also given me his feelings on my, and I quote, taking both his children from him. He actually laughed at the idea of my father being angry with him. He seems to care about you, in his own way. His choice words were that of a father protecting his only daughter from someone who would use and abuse her talents. He winked. In all seriousness, though, now that he does know, he agrees this is the safest place for you. I take a deep breath and let it out slowly. So much information today, it's hard to believe I started out with just a dress fitting, so I could help a friend out. Now I find out I am a distant part of the royal family, and I might be a part of some kind of prophecy. My head hurts. You look like you could use a meal after all of that. Anne and Xander have been waiting a while for us, but I wanted to make sure you were able to understand and ask all the questions you have. Sierra is still here too. Does she know? Who can I tell? All of my friends are curious about my visit here today, I ask as we both stand and stretch after sitting for so long. I hadn't even noticed the passing of time with his story, but the sun was already cresting towards the other side of the mountain. It's not late, but definitely mid-afternoon. We missed lunch for sure. Her parents know, and she is smart enough to figure out that you are important to the royal family, but I would like to keep it at that for a while. Especially with the rogue king actively looking for any females connected to our bloodline and being tortured. The rest of your friends just need to know that you are friends with Xander after the trials. It's true enough, and with your training and closeness in age, it makes sense to have you assigned to him as needed. Okay, that works for me. So what does that mean for me and my training? We're walking out of the maze now and back towards the castle. Your training will not change, although I believe some changes need to be made. Am I right? He gives me that dad looks like he knows the answer and is waiting to see if I will lie to him. I don't know if changes need to be made. I just need to know what I did to piss off my floor leader so I can fix it. She has hated me since the day I walked in and seems to like making things difficult for me. It's nothing like what I was going through back home. I think she is just trying to establish her dominance. I just don't know why. I tried to explain. Even she can feel your aura. She has never had another female to challenge her. While she is an exceptionally strong wolf and a great warrior, her ego and her temper get in her way. Her maturity will be what holds her back for now, but I believe she will outgrow it. She has potential and drive. She just needs some more time. You came in with a reputation and the respect of almost every warrior in the bunkhouse. There was plenty of buzz about you after your trials, and then again when they all found out you would be arriving sooner than expected. I think she may feel threatened by your presence, but I just want to train like everyone else. I don't care about being in charge or a leader. I'm new here. No one in their right mind would follow me with my lack of training. And that, little one, is where you are wrong. You have already proven to many of them you know how to lead, especially in a tense situation. You stay calm and objective. Your friends Lillian, Wyatt, and Nathaniel can attest to that already. The rest of the warriors are not stupid. Each has taken their turn as led. Everyone has to be ready to at all times. For some, it's difficult to step into that role, but you do it effortlessly. If you say so. I'm always afraid of making a mistake and getting someone hurt. When you lead, that is always a possibility. He shrugs, and I just look at him incredulously. He was supposed to say something fatherly, like you would never do that to someone. But no, he had to go and be honest with me. What? Would you prefer I lie to you? You are a leader, born to be a leader. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. People will get hurt or suffer on your watch, and you have to be able to both cope with and then handle it. You also have to learn that you cannot save everyone. Some people are destined to hurt themselves, no matter what you do to help them. I just nod. It makes sense logically, but in real life, I have a feeling it will be easier said than done, which is why he's telling me. We make it inside, and Alpha Reggie leads me to the dining hall, which is situated on the main level. We just walk in from the massive patio. The dining hall is super formal, and everything is exactly as you would picture it from a fairy tale. With murals well maintained and taking up entire walls, fancy framework around everything, and a hint of gold accents make each surface shiny and fancy looking. The hall is huge and could easily fit several hundred people, but down at the far end is a lone table set under a stained glass window for the 5 of us, with Luna Ann, Xander, and Sierra in animated conversation. Sierra notices me first. There you are. I thought maybe you left without saying goodbye. It's been hours. What have you been doing? I look to Alpha Reggie for an explanation that would satisfy her curiosity, but wouldn't be me outright lying to my friend. We were going over the details of her assignment. Naturally, there are several layers to what she has to do. Unfortunately, working with and for the royal family has its levels of complications. She just nods. Well played. It was a very detailed answer that actually wasn't an answer. I was going to have to pay close attention to how Alpha Reggie interacted with people. He was really good at this. We ate and joked, and there was no more talk of what my job was. At about 7, Sierra got a summons from her parents. She gave me a huge hug and told me she would see me on Tuesday and expected a study schedule. Once she was gone, Xander turned to me. Well, Dad said he was going to give you all the news. You seem to still be breathing, so it didn't shock you too bad. He laughed at me. Being your cousin wasn't the most shocking part of that whole story, really. I laughed back. The magical powers and poison immunity that will take some getting used to though. Do the elders know? Or will they put me in the pool of potential mates to throw at Xander on a regular basis? I actually would prefer it if they kept throwing you my way. It prevents them from setting me up with some of the others. He shudders at the thought, and I have to suppress a giggle. Why do they keep trying to set Xander up? Didn't you say the Alpha King is only at his strongest with his goddess-given mate? I look at each of them in turn, confused by the idea now that it came up. You would think that the elders would want their Alpha King at his strongest in order to protect and lead the packs. Some are of the opinion that the way the moon goddess goes about making us find our mates is asking too much, and that our mates should be more accessible. Luna Ann begins, meaning they are lazy and don't want to put in the effort. Xander chimes in, and I agree with him completely. Part of finding your mate is becoming a strong enough person on your own without them, so you can be better with them. Also, some of them take that line of thinking a step further, believing that being from the same pack, specifically royal pack members having mates from the royal pack, would be better. Alpha Reggie adds, bringing in an elitist attitude. Xander translates again, and I can't help but smile. I see where his mind has gone with this. It's pack separation and some being viewed as better than others, rather than pack unity amongst them all. I nod my head, agreeing with Xander on this point. But we can't come right out and accuse anyone of that, though. Alpha Reggie's tone is light and conversational. but it also has an undertone of caution. Well, I think that Skylar has enough to think about for the time being, and she should probably get back before her team leader finds something else to criticize. He raises his eyebrow at me, and I just roll my eyes and smile. I'll go with her, Dad. I want to talk about next weekend. Xander stands with me, and I give Luna Ann a hug and turn to Alpha Reggie, not really sure if he's the hugging type. Come here. He opens his arms, and just like with Alpha Lucas, I'm overwhelmed with the thought that this is what it feels like to have a dad hug me. A simple gesture, taken for granted by so many, but it means the world to me, and I try to let him know that without words. He gives me a little extra squeeze before letting me go. Xander and I walk back out the way we came, although this time he lets me actually walk and enjoy the grandeur of the castle. All the cream white walls and fancy, humongous pictures of people and times in history I will have to ask about later. We head down the stairs and out to the car where Barty is waiting for us. Would you mind if we had some privacy, Barty? I have no idea what that means, but Barty doesn't hesitate and opens the door for us to get in the back, and then he joins the driver in the front, right before the privacy window goes up. Now I get it. But why? Xander waits until we are on the road and moving consistently before turning to me. This is for you, from your brother and the rest of the guys. My eyes go wide as he hands me 5 envelopes, each one sealed with no writing on the outside. How do you know they are from me? I look at each identical one. There's no indication that they are, because I collected them myself. I told them I would see you today, and I know none of us can really have any regular communication. But I also know what happened between all of you, and how everything was left. I thought maybe when I had a chance, I could play go-between. No one checks me or my things. Perks of the title. He shrugs. So I could, at the very least, get basic information back and forth when I'm able to see you, which will be a hell of a lot more than them. And with my regular trips back to your pack, because of the attack. I can even help during the school year when they go back. I nod my head slowly, not really sure what I was agreeing with, and hold the letters to my chest. Some were definitely thicker than others. That made me smile. I should try to guess who wrote each letter before opening it to see how well I know them. I feel like we made it back to the bunkhouse in record time. I wish I would have been able to spend more time with Xander, especially now that I know what I do. He's really the only person I can talk to about it that is in my age bracket. I obviously won't be able to talk to him about it in public, like the elders' conference, and I don't think I'm supposed to say anything to the guys, let alone put it in a letter that can be lost or taken. What the hell am I supposed to do with all of this information? I mean, seriously. Did Alpha Reggie know what he was doing dropping this bomb on me and then just letting me stew with it on my own? And now I have secret letters from the guys. What has my life come to? Before I can get too lost in my thoughts, my door opens and I slide out and start to head toward the door when a hand wraps around the small of my back. What? I look up over my shoulder. Xander, what are you doing? Dad said someone was giving you a hard time. I want to know who, and I want to make sure it is apparent you have friends in high places. Don't you dare. I can handle this on my own. You shouldn't have to handle anything like that. Every warrior is here because they were chosen. You have all earned the right. Second, tell me Oliver, Cameron, Dakota, Sam, or your brother wouldn't do the same thing. There are times when I kind of hate all of you, you know that? His mouth twitches in a half smile. That, I'm sure, he uses to get his own way frequently. You love every ridiculous thing about all of us, and I promise I won't say a thing. I don't get a chance to respond as Barty opens the door for us. We walk into the foyer, and I figure that's where he will leave me. But no. I couldn't be that lucky, and I'm starting to think that Sam put him up to pushing my comfort levels based on the look on his face. He walks me straight past the stairs and right into the main common area, where a majority of the warriors are lounging after dinner. Where are your friends? I think you mentioned Lillian, Wyatt, and Nathaniel. Were you instructed to vet my friends for me too? I figured this train wreck is coming whether I want it to or not, so I might as well get it over with sooner rather than later. I have no idea how far Xander will go to embarrass me. He just shrugs noncommittally. Fine, they're over here. I lead him to a corner where the three of them are just sitting and talking and not doing a very good job of pretending I'm not walking over to them with the Alpha Prince. How exactly do I introduce you? I'll show you, is all I get as we reach my friends. They all stand politely and just stare. I'm Alpha Prince Alexander. He holds his hand out to Lillian first, who introduces herself a little breathlessly. Then to Wyatt, who answers politely, but has a clear look of sizing him up. I don't feel any tension from either, just clearly unsure where the other stands in my life. Nathaniel also answers politely, but almost inaudibly. Maybe nerves. Interesting. It's good to see Sky has made such a tight group of friends. We were afraid some might try to use her for her talents, or to improve their own skills at her expense. Why? Wyatt asks. There are more than a few interested in her well-being. He implied so much with that little comment. I'll have to remember I owe him a punch to the gut for that the next time we spar. And I try to let him know to knock it off with my side eye. He just uses it as an opening and cups my cheek with one hand. You know it's not a lie. He smiles his devastating smile and I just roll my eyes. My well-being is just fine, thank you very much. I try to step out of the embrace. He lets his hand drop from my face, but keeps the other firmly planted on the small of my back. We would never let anything happen to Midge. Although she seems to be very capable of taking care of herself, sir. Wyatt finally tries to come to my rescue. See, I'm all good. No babysitters or anyone needed to check up on me, and you can take that back to whichever one made you do this. Xander just continued like I said nothing. Midge? Huh? Yes, sir, midget. Just kind of stuck. Wyatt shrugged. She's just this tiny little mighty midget. But if you don't like it, we can stop. My mouth fell open. What? You would change my nickname if he didn't like it? Xander is doing a terrible job hiding his smile and Wyatt just shrugs. Unbelievable. And stop laughing, Xander. I elbow him in the side and he hisses, but is openly smiling now. My friends gasp a little. I'm not sure if it's because I used no title for him or assaulted him. Go back to your side of the training territory. Don't be mad. I told you, there are perks. He pulls me back into his side for a quick hug. I do have to get back though. I will see you Saturday. Walk me out. He pulls me back to the door. Did you really have to do that? Now they will have a whole bunch of questions that I really can't answer, and I don't want to lie to them. You all are jackasses. You know that? I giggle at him, and then get a brilliant idea as we step outside. I jump at him, wrapping my arms around his neck, and he instinctively wraps his arms around my waist to hold me up to his tall frame. I don't let go as I ask, Are you going straight back to your training grounds? Yes. Why? He tries to pull back, but I hold on tighter for just a moment longer before jumping down. I want to know who is the most irritated with my scent being all over you. I smile my sweetest smile and wave at him as he goes a little pale. Barty coughs a laugh, clearly having knowledge of my situation, and I shut the door in Xander's face. Still laughing to myself, I head back to the common area for just a bit longer. Lillian immediately grabs my hands and pulls me down to the seat. On my goddess, he was all over you. I want details. Lil, it's not like that. He was just messing with me. My friends must have put him up to it knowing he was going to see me today. They are over at the rank training, and they are all assholes. I tell her, laughing. Well, you do seem to get around, don't you? A snarky but low voice afts over us. I close my eyes and take a deep breath before turning to Audrina and her friends. Not that it is any of your business, but I am friends with Prince Sander. What did he mean by there being more than a few people interested in your well-being? Bridget asks. Again, not any of your business, but he is training with some of my friends. He was implying he would be reporting back to them. It's an inside joke, so it probably doesn't make any sense to you. I move to turn away from them, trying to end the conversation. No such luck. Who could you possibly be friends with that would be here training? Broken record, it's none of your business. I sighed out. And yet, we're still interested. Audrina looks at her nails, trying to give off the impression that she really couldn't care less, but would listen if I gave her information. Considering I am a beta's daughter, it would make sense for me to know the other ranked members from my pack. Yeah, the female ranked members, none of them come to training. Chelsea says, like I am stupid. I just stare at her. How did she get this far being this dense? What planet do you live on? Plenty of ranked females go to training and hold the titled position in their packs. I've heard many stories about them. It's no different than females coming to warrior training. I can't help rolling my eyes this time. Before anyone else can say anything, the bell goes off to head to our rooms. Thank the goddess. I need a break. These B-teaches are almost as crazy as the 3 I left behind. Well, don't think anyone is going to treat you special because you paraded the Alpha Prince around here like some kind of trophy. Audrina huffs before walking away. I wouldn't dream of any such thing. I mumble. So only my friends can hear. Did she not see the same thing that we did? Nathaniel asks. He clearly paraded you around and was staking a pretty big claim. He must know you can't have your brand yet, or he doesn't fully realize how the brand works, 'cause none of these guys are even thinking about hitting on you. No matter how pretty you are. His eyes go wide and he blushes when he realizes what he just said. I mean, just that the hormone suppression and stuff yeah. He looks down at his feet and won't look at me at all. Lillian and Wyatt are fighting laughter at this point, and I can't decide if I want to give Nathaniel a hard time or try to make him feel better. Before I can make any kind of decision, Lillian loops her arm through his. Come on, Casanova. At least with your brand, you will have time to develop your speaking skills when talking to girls. Sky might even be nice and pretend like you didn't just stutter your way through that compliment. Wyatt and I laugh as we veer off to our floor. He's never going to live that down for the rest of his life, and he knows it. Wyatt laughs. I go to protest, but he stops me. Don't you dare try and make him feel better. He rarely makes mistakes or is wrong about anything. Just give me this one thing to hold over his head. Please. He's literally begging me. What has my life come to? I make it to my room and want to immediately open my letters, but something in my gut tells me Audrina isn't done with me today. And while I don't think the letters are illegal in any way, if she does stop in my room, I'm not giving her any other reason to be nosy. I'll try and get to them when I am doing homework tomorrow or this week sometime. That will give me a chance to respond as well. My gut instinct was not wrong. I was able to hop in a quick shower and just got into my pajamas when she burst into my door without knocking, something I will be questioning tomorrow. She stands just inside my open door, and I'm standing in the middle of my room, not backing down from her cold stare. Make sure you are up and ready on time for training in the morning. You have time to make up. I just nod my head. There isn't any point in arguing, and I did actually know about this extra training, so I am prepared for it. What, no snarky comeback or BT attitude? The extra training on Sundays is on my schedule, so I am prepared to be there. The attitude only comes when one is unnecessarily directed at me. I don't know why you don't like me, but I was chosen just like everyone else to be here. I was brought here early by the Alpha King and Warrior Osistin. You do not have a say in my being here now. Like everyone else, I am here to learn and do a job. You do not have to like me, but I am currently your teammate. All I ask is that you treat me like one. This will go more smoothly for the both of us if you do." Her lip curls into what should probably be an intimidating face, but she just looks like she wants to throw up or like she might poop herself. I try not to let that image make me smile. It would be wildly inappropriate and so not helpful right now. I'm not sure how long we stood there staring at each other, but it was long enough that I had to stifle a yawn. She finally just turns and leaves without another word or a backward glance. This girl really does have something not right about her, and I need to figure it out before she smothers me in my sleep. Sunday went as expected, and Audrina was, well, not nice in any way. But she didn't outwardly cause me problems once we joined the rest of the warriors for morning training. We were actually done by 9 a.m. and had free time until evening training right before dinner, which only consisted of a 5-mile run through the training territory. During my downtime in the middle of the day, I holed up in one of the study rooms and tore through my letters before I even thought about starting my homework. Each of my friends put their own flair on their letter. I could tell only the twins had any knowledge in how to formulate and write a full communication-type letter, which makes sense considering they are training to be the next alphas. They would have to draft letters for treaties and peace agreements and other regular communications between packs that maybe couldn't be sent electronically. Sam's was the funniest. He wrote in single sentences, as if he was writing a one-way text message stream, bullet pointing what has been happening since I left so abruptly, and informing me that by leaving I took his 2 favorite people away at the same time, and he might die of loneliness. Ever the drama king. Mateo's letter apologized more times than I can count for what happened to me, and when he finds out who did this, they are going to die a slow and painful death. Oliver was not so blunt in his threat to whoever caused me so much harm, but it was implied. He actually mentioned that seeing me that broken will haunt him forever. That is the most emotion he has ever verbalized to me. He mentioned that I better come back stronger and with at least 10 more pounds, or he will also have words with Warrior Brogan about my care. The twins each wrote a separate letter, but had similar sentiments to the rest. Dakota said that I didn't need to go to these extremes to get my point across, and that he hopes they can find a reason to see me before they go home for the school year. Cameron said he understands now what I was saying all along, and apologized for letting his own feelings cloud his judgment in seeing what was truly best for me. They all begged me to forgive them and to get something back to them soon. They are relying on our mutual connection to Xander to make that happen. I just don't know how to get anything to them after next week. I have no other plans to see Xander beyond the Elders' Conference. But I guess Xander can do whatever he wants as royalty, so who knows. I just giggled and decided I would write to them once I got my work done and ready to go. Just because Audrina was semi-normal today doesn't mean that act will last. I have to assume she is going to make me do extra training at every possible free moment, just to be a pain in my ass. She knows I'm in school and was told of my study schedule, but that hasn't stopped her before. I finish everything that is due this week and start anything I can based on the syllabus for the next 2 weeks. Then I write 1 letter to the guys. They can freaking share. I let them know that I am safe and all healed. Training is going well, but tough, and I love it. I let them know I am in school and get to see Sierra a couple times a week. I leave out anything to do with Xander. I don't know how much he told them and what I can actually say. I am treating this whole thing like a protection detail, which is all it can be, and I don't know if I can say anything about attending with Xander. I also say nothing about Audrina. I don't need them worried about a repeat of the situation I left. They need to trust me here and let me be. The rest of the week plays out just like last week. Early morning training feels just like what I did back home, and I fall into a great rhythm with the team. We all contribute to the plans. There really is not a single leader, no matter how much Audrina wants to pretend there is. We all have our strengths and get to show them off on almost a daily basis. School is actually enjoyable when I'm not looking over my shoulder for a threat the whole time. I do find myself flying through classes, even the advanced or senior level classes. But it's more because I enjoy what I am learning and want to know more. I almost wish there were more hours in the day so I could do full-time school and full-time training, but there is no way. Saturday finally rolls around and I find myself a little nervous while I'm waiting for Barty to pick me up to go to the castle. The part that I'm attending doesn't even start until 8 or 9 tonight, but I was told to be ready to go at 6 a.m. I have no idea what I'm going to do the whole day, but when the Luna Queen says, "Be ready," you are ready. Hello, Miss Skylar. It's nice to see you again. I hope your week was enjoyable. Barty gives me a genuine smile. He's not just asking, because it's his job, and it's a nice feeling. It was great. Training is hard, but that is to be expected. It's like nothing else I've ever done before. I like the challenge. He holds the car door open for me and allows me to get in first before sliding next to me. I'm sorry. Alpha Prince Xander couldn't join us this morning. It wasn't for a lack of trying, though. He winks at me. The Luna Queen has him attending all of the meetings today, and he needed to prepare. If he will be in meetings, why am I needed so early? I thought I would be assigned to him for the day, but he surely won't need an escort or protection detail inside a meeting room, will he? Oh, my dear, you don't know, do you? Know what? I'm nervous now, and there isn't much that makes me nervous. You are attending all of the meetings today as the warrior liaison. You will be asked for your input on pack training, protection, border patrol, and all other things related to pack safety. Did the Luna Queen not tell you? His eyebrow is raised like he knows the answer to that question already, and this whole conversation was planned out. No. I was not told I was going to be speaking to royal pack elders on matters of pack safety and security. My first question is naturally, why me? I'm only 15, who in the hell is going to listen to me? My eyes go wide for a second. Sorry for the outburst. It's not your fault. I don't like being blindsided, and this is being blindsided on the most epic level. I can feel my pulse quicken. You have a unique position. First, you are top of your class, in everything, if my information is correct. Meaning you're smart and can handle deep, in-depth conversations. Some of our smartest scientists can't do that. He gives me a side glance. You are also in our elite warrior training program, meaning you are exceptional on the battlefield, again making your unique perspective valuable. You also managed to tear holes in a safety plan that our best warriors came up with only a few years ago, using a patio table, utensils and drinking glasses, and zero practical knowledge of the area you were planning for. To say that the Alpha King and his lead warriors and strategists were impressed is an understatement, and they would like to pick your brain more after giving you access to real maps and schematics. Oh, she-tea. I clapped my hand over my mouth. Are you serious? I have nothing prepared. What am I supposed to say? Are they going to just grill me with a ton of questions? What if I say something stupid or something they've already tried and hasn't worked? That's a ton of pressure. And what about Xander? I thought I was assigned to him like some kind of protection detail. What am I really doing here tonight? In a way, you're not wrong. You do provide an extra layer of protection for him, but not the way you think. We have plenty of warriors for the royal family's protection, but most attendees are not dumb enough to try and attack at a function like this. Xander is in a unique position right now. He is 22 years old and hasn't found the goddess-given mate that will produce the next heir. So, naturally, many of our elders and even some pack alphas are trying to convince the Alpha King to force him into a chosen mate situation. I nod my head, starting to understand. After what the Alpha King told me last weekend, I know why Xander is holding out. With you by his side, a strong, smart female warrior, and being underage, The royal family can stall a little longer on the chosen mate push from the elders. You do have a job to do, and being friends with the Alpha Prince is helpful. He will naturally want to spend time with you. And if the elders start to think there is more and begin spreading rumors along those lines, none of us will stop them. He shrugs and smiles. So let me get this straight. I'm going to go into meetings about pack safety, give my opinion to pack elders and alphas, who are decades older than me, like what I have to say is more important, and then SEAC block them from throwing their daughters at Xander? In a nutshell, yes. It's a good thing you are strong-willed and don't mind giving your opinion freely when asked for it. He smiles at me again and winks. You are getting far too much pleasure out of this. What's in it for you? I ask playfully. I have been with the royal family since my mate died. A look flashes across his eyes, but before I can give him any sympathy, he holds his hand up. No need. It was a long time ago. But my wolf died with him, and the Alpha King and Luna Queen took me in and offered me protection. I have become an adopted part of their family, and I love Xander like a favorite nephew. I have seen what the ranked politics look like and how bad it really can get when wolves start messing with the goddess plan. I don't want that for Xander. I want him to have what I had with my mate. Even with all the pain that followed his passing, I wouldn't trade it for anything. You seem to care about him and want nothing more than friendship, and just that has you in my good graces along with the Luna Queen. I wonder if he knows the whole situation with my relationship to the royal family? I made a mental note to ask Luna Ann. So, am I going to be on my own all morning, or is Xander going to be with me? Or you, or Luna Ann? Someone will be with you at all times. We may be throwing you to the wolves. He laughs at his little joke. But we won't let you go it alone. Your reservations are accurate with some of the elders. A few of them are, how could I put this, old school. They don't like women in the planning meetings in general, and you are young. But times are changing. We have 2 female alphas amongst us now, and as you have seen, about a third of our elite warriors are female. It only makes sense that those same elite warriors would become part of the safety and defense team that keeps the royal family, the royal pack, and our surrounding kingdoms safe. I nod in understanding. He basically confirmed there will be people who are going to actively belittle and degrade me, while also trying to not offend the Alpha King. Maybe it is better that no one told me. I would have been overthinking this thing the whole week. We finally pull up to the castle, but instead of going to the front entrance like last time, we head down an semi-hidden gravel drive to a parking garage nestled into the mountain. The stone facade made it blend so well. If I hadn't seen the doors move, I never would have noticed them. Seeing my expression, Barty smiles. You get to use the super secret entrance from now on. Now more mundane front door entrances for you. What? I laugh at him. Is this really necessary? It feels a little over the top. You won't think that when all of the elitist people here start trying to figure out who you are and where you come from. And since you do have to go back to the training grounds eventually, it's safer to have you come and go from the royal family's private garage in a car that maintains your privacy. Oh, wow. This just got real. We step out of the car and I take a good look around the garage. The whole bunkhouse could fit in here. It's so big. I can't even count how many cars, motorcycles, four-wheelers, and other gas-powered toys there are in here. And on the far end, near what appears to be a second set of garage doors, there is an expanse of tools, boxes, bottles, and other various things to maintain all of these toys. I just smile. All the guys must have a good time when they are here for training. It reminds me of the picture from Dakota's room where they are all sitting on a log in front of the lake, looking wet and sun-kissed and like they are the most happy and relaxed I have ever seen them. I jump when Barty's voice startles me out of my thoughts. I bet the Alpha Prince would love to take you around the territory sometime. There aren't many people, let alone ladies, who would look at any of his toys with that kind of fondness. I laugh at his statement. I am definitely not your typical girl. Speaking of, I know I agreed to wear the fancy dress to the gala ball thing tonight. Is Luna Ann going to put me in a monkey skirt suit all day too? I try to school the nauseous feeling I get thinking about being uncomfortable in my clothes, as well as with all of these people today. I believe she is aware of your affinity for pants. He winks at me and leads me to an elevator. We head up in a comfortable silence and reach Luna Ann's floor quickly. I walk into the same suite we did the dress fittings in, and it actually looks more terrifying now. My eyes go wide. Not only is the dress I chose for tonight hanging from a tall rack, there are at least 5 more that she said were good contenders. Next to that was a rack with items in varying shades of white hanging from it. Pants, jackets, vests, blouses, and to my irritation skirts, with frilly bottoms. The third rack had similar business attire, but in cool shades of greens, blues, and purples. Rack 4 was on repeat with warm shades of yellow, orange, red, and pinks. Close your mouth and stop looking so terrified. We have a job to do, and the first impression is always the most important. Luna Ann pops out from behind one of the racks. Are all of these things necessary? It's just one day of meetings and then a ball. Or did I miss something? I looked accusingly between her and Barty, knowing parts of what he told me were strategically left out, so she could explain herself. You didn't miss anything, but Luna, Ava, and I decided that if we told you everything all at once, you would refuse. I nod my head, agreeing with their assessment. As Barty told you, Reggie and Osiston want you in several of the meetings today. And for good reason. You are smart and very good at tactical planning. Unfortunately, there has been a development. First, you are not a show pony, and I don't want you to think that. But somehow, word got to a few of the elders that Xander's date, she air quotes, is attending meetings. So several have insisted that they get to bring their daughters to also learn the ropes of pack management. She rolls her eyes at the thought. It has become a joke now, but there isn't much that Reggie can do without explaining your ties to the family and opening Xander up to the Pyrenhays, trying to get a queen out of this whole situation. I rub my temples, already feeling the star of a headache that comes from dealing with self-important morons. Don't look like that. You will do great, and it gives me an excuse to also attend, which I normally do not, since most females are not needed for such things. I'm actually kind of excited, but that also means you will be under a bigger spotlight than we anticipated. She at least has the audacity to look a little ashamed of the situation I am in, but also far too excited about the prospect to dress me up. I have several outfits picked out for you, and as we get you dressed, I will explain the day. I reluctantly nod my head in agreement.